You're listening to the Pillaging Podcast, proud member of the Crow's Nest Podcast Network, companion podcast to PJ4F.com, the number one podcast in Raider Nation. Tune in every week wherever podcasts are found. Call in to leave a message to be played on air at 408-909-PJFF. This episode brought to you by DC4L Custom Tees. Check them out at DC4LCustomTees.com. It's time to pillage another podcast. I'm Kenny Stapler. And what are you drinking, Che?
Oh, you already know, man. We got to get these chelas going. It's hot, man. It's hot. So we are drinking this Hopworks Urban Brewery Blackberry Lime Sour. And this is an American sour ale with blackberry, Marionberry.
That's right.
And lime added, man.
If this beer smokes crack, we will forgive it and we will re-elect it because Marionberry is in it.
Facts. So let's see. This is the first time I'm tasting this, bro.
That is
okay.
Smooth up front, bitter on the back.
Yeah.
Sour on the back.
Got that tang on the end. Yeah. I like it though. You get the taste of the blackberry and the, I guess, Marionberry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. 5%er. I like it, man. It's hot, so this is perfect, man.
This is nice.
These sours are refreshing. Ask your boy Bobby in the chat. He's hooked on them, man. He's hooked on them.
He's on that sour life.
You're welcome, bro. You're welcome, bro. No, and thank you for providing chelas, bro. I know he just said that he was gonna be bringing some chelas over, so even more so.
Saved us about $30 in the past 2 weeks, bro.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, Bobby.
The podcast was canceled last week, but the beers were not. We did finish those. But the lime on here, the lime definitely provides all the sour. It's not a sweet sour. Yeah. It's a very, very high, very dry sour, and it's nice. It's really nice.
Yeah, man. I'm digging it.
We heard some of you guys say, "Oh, just get to the football." That's why we moved the chill out segment up, trying to trim the fat here. But we're not going to trim the chill outs. We need these.
No, hell no.
We need these.
We ain't ever chilling. We ain't ever going to cut the chill.
It's 7 p.m. right now in the Crow's Nest. It's probably cooled down to about 88 degrees in here. It's still warm. The sun is setting. And we're ready to talk some Raiders football, bro.
You goddamn right.
Before we get started, reminder, follow us on Twitter at PillagingPod, at Kenny Stapler, at Che_PJ4F, at KaneMT6. Follow the whole crew at CNPodNet. That's the entire crew of the Crow's Nest Podcast Network. And we'll do a roll call for you guys at the end of the show. Tonight's guest is Brandon Krisztal. I believe that's how you say his name.
Okay.
Or Krisztal. I'm going to say Krisztal. That sounds fancy.
Sounds dope, bro.
Brandon joins us from the other side. He is the Broncos insider for KOA Broncos Radio Network out there in Denver, Colorado. So we'll be previewing a new segment we'll be adding to the show called Behind Enemy Lines. We're going to try to talk to our opposition here and there. You know what I mean?
And we're going to see if we could keep it, cordial.
Yeah, we're going to try, bro. We're going to try. But
I ain't making no promises, dog.
To beat the enemy, you must think like the enemy. So Behind Enemy Lines. In the future, this segment may look a little bit different. We have a roving reporter out there.
That's right.
He's in the chat right now. The Gent is going to be taking on this segment. But give us a little time to get that up and running. But we do like adding new voices to the show. And Gent's a longtime friend of mine and a longtime, all-time friend of the show. So we're looking forward to that.
Hell yeah.
Merchandise, you already know, OneNationFanwear.com and DC4LCustomTees.com. Make sure you hit those up for all of your independent Raiders gear. Some real fly streetwear for your pillaging needs.
There you go.
How about that? Tailgate show is a go. We will be out there Monday. Gates open, I believe, at about 2 o'clock. Kickoff 7:20, so gates at 2 o'clock, which means we should be streaming by about 4 p.m. We're going to try to get that in. And we know a lot of folks are coming out to the game, so we're going to do our best to be cordial and shake hands and meet all you guys, but we also have a lot of setting up to do. So come on. If we got the headphones on, hey, stand nearby, grab the mic.
Yeah.
Join us.
Yeah, hell yeah. We want to hear what your takes are, man. We want to get all that excitement of the first game of the season because it's going to be a good one, bro. It's going to be a great one.
The whole world is going to that game.
Man.
I think they sold too many tickets, bro.
No
such
thing. Open up Mount Davis, dog. Open up Mount Davis, dog.
That's not a bad idea.
Shit.
Tonight's show, quick overview for the show. We'll be starting off with some quick hits. We'll be covering mostly roster moves there. As you guys know, we'll be taking a deeper look at the depth chart and the practice squad since we didn't give you guys our 53-man roster prediction last week. But take it from us, it was 100% accurate.
We nailed it.
We did. Actually, we were
perfect.
We were pretty damn close. We can maybe look back on that. We got our week 1 preview in the second half of the show. And of course, like I said, we have our guest coming on, Brandon Krisztal. Kane's Corner will be on. He's going to give you his roster reactions and his amended season prediction. And we're going to talk a little bit about this linebacking core and what the hell are we going to do with 4 quarterbacks on the roster. And last but not least, we'll be taking your calls. We are scrubbing all calls from last week. Yes, I know, but that is all old news now. The roster has been finalized, so we are starting fresh over here as well. So if you want to call and you're listening live right now, please call in. If you want to talk to us live, you can wait for that caller segment. Although, as Shay told you, it's going to be a real beefy show tonight.
Oh, yeah.
So we may or may not have time to take your call to the end. We will call that. That'll be a game time decision. Yeah.
There you go. I like that.
We love talking to you live, so we're going to try to get that in as much as possible. But is that it? Is that the table?
Yeah, bro. You said it. You said it.
Forks and knives?
Yeah, forks and knives. We got everything. Napkins.
Everyone's got a napkin, yeah.
A bib.
And we got their drink. All right, let's get into it, man.
Let's do it, dog.
The 53-man roster has been finalized, minus last-minute acquisitions, adjustments, and the practice squad, of course. But even that is filling out. So we're going to do a deep dive on that right after this. That'll be our Silver and Black Facts segment. So let's keep it pushing. The man of the hour, Rodney Hudson, extended 3 years to the tune of $33.75 million. Worth it?
Hell yeah, he's fucking worth it. Come on, bro. Best center in the game. He's worth it.
You're goddamn right.
Come on now.
Mike Mayock, he had some words to say about that. He said, since I've been here, you start to kind of get a feel for the heart and pulse of a locker room. You can put the tape on, and I can tell you Rodney Hudson is one of the top centers in the NFL. But when you get around the guys and you get around that offensive line room, I'm a huge believer in building the offensive line, and you get around that group and watch what's going on. He is the quintessential glue player. He is a glue guy. Now, it's great when your team captain is a glue guy, right? And those are my words.
Yeah.
Mayock goes on to say he doesn't say much publicly. He doesn't smile too often. When he's with his guys, everything revolves around him, his work ethic, his toughness. We thought it was really important as we continue to develop this offensive line. I mean, yeah, it's a no-brainer, man. It's a no-brainer.
Hell yeah, man.
That's the anchor right there. You get Rodney Hudson to stay. Hopefully, it's a domino effect. You get other guys that want to come back and stay too. Most important position on the team, man, after quarterback.
No, definitely, dude.
In my opinion.
Definitely. And for those of you guys that maybe didn't play football or didn't play line, offensive linemen are quite possibly the smartest fucking people on the field, man.
Huge.
Outside the quarterback. Yeah. And they don't get the credit that they deserve. So Rodney Hudson, you already know he's got it up here and he's got it on the actual field. The way he plays, his physicality. I love the fucking way Rodney plays, bro.
It's huge.
He's just angry.
He's big. He's mad.
He just plays angry,
like a
bro.
Giant, dog.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So I'm happy, man. I'm happy.
He's got that fee-fi-fo fun mentality. I mean, obviously everyone likes this move. You got to like this move. The other thing that you look around the league, I was really looking at our offensive line. I was talking about this after the draft, after the first wave of free agency. My biggest concern was offensive line depth, and you touched on it. Offensive line players, smartest players on the team, they're also protecting your most valuable asset on the team, being the quarterback. Therefore, they're paid handsomely. Take a look at some offensive line salaries and come back to me. Compare those to skill players. They are up there. And it's what makes the NFL so difficult to field 5 guys on your starting rotation that are all solid, not to mention Pro Bowl caliber. And we got, arguably 4 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, you make an argument for Trent Brown trending towards that this year, hopefully. Richie Incognito, obviously Hudson and Jackson have been there. So,
that's right.
And Miller yet to see. So when you get past those first 5 guys, fleshing out the rest of the guys behind them, it costs money, man. It costs a lot of money. There's only 53 slots on the team. So, my concern is still depth chart, but now looking around the league and looking at the other depth charts and the offensive line, we're not the only ones. You just pray to God that these big giants don't go down. They're paid well and they're big, tough sons of bitches for a reason. So,
Yeah. Yep.
That's what it is.
Yep.
In another blockbuster move, Raiders claim former Packers quarterback Deshaun Kaiser off waivers.
I see what you did there.
You like that?
I see what you did there.
Green Bay quarterback, dog. I'm just saying, dude. Blue chipper. Looking back at Deshaun Kaiser, it's a head scratcher for sure. I think Andy said it best. Something is afoot.
Yeah.
Or a hand, or an arm, or a leg. Something's going on here. There's going to be a trade.
Yeah, that's what it's feeling like, right? There's absolutely most people were scratching their heads or kind of upset that we kept 3, right? And then you add a 4th one to the mix. Yeah, none of that has to do with Derek Carr. Let's make that real clear, because I know that the people that are Derek Carr haters, whether they're actual Raider fans or they're fans of other teams, that's the first thing they're going to go to. I'm sure Skip Bayless will be on air tomorrow or Tuesday talking about how John Gruden just doesn't like Derek Carr.
Yeah.
He just doesn't really like him and all that kind of bullshit. I'm sure we'll hear it. I'm sure Twitter's going to fucking take to it and start saying about, they don't trust him. They don't really. That's all bullshit. Okay? Deshaun Kaiser is not here to replace anybody except a backup. And Gruden hinted at the fact that there's been teams that have been asking for players. So it's quite possible that some of these needy teams might want to take a shot at a guy like Mike Glennon.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
How many phones does John Gruden have? You got players calling him wanting the Raiders. Dude's calling him trying to trade
Right?
for Nick Glennon.
Yeah, the Nick Glennon.
Yeah, if Mike Glennon gets a sore throat, it's over, bro. IR that motherfucker, dog. It's over, dog. That's a lot of throat to be hurting, dude.
Oh, man.
So way back when, Mike Mayock described Kaiser as the 4th best QB in I think it was the 2017 draft is when he came out. He was signed in March 2017 or May 2017 by the Browns. Subsequently, Kaiser was drafted 4th that year, 4th quarterback drafted that year, I should say, not 4th overall, and officially signed with Cleveland that June. So June 2017. Didn't make the cut, man. Played in 15 games, started 15 games for Cleveland. 255 completions, 53.6% percentage. Here's the one: 11 touchdowns, 22 interceptions.
Yeah.
Do not attempt to adjust your horizontal or your vertical. Those numbers are accurate. Yeah. In 2018 for Green Bay, he played in 3 games as a backup to Aaron Rodgers. Didn't fare well, threw 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Yeah, no bueno. No bueno. He completed 20 passes for 187 yards. That's murder. Yeah, so Deshaun Kaiser, we'll see, man. It looks like, Kaiser's going to be the backup to the backup, and either Peterman or Glenn are out,
Yeah.
It's kind of odd. You got Kaiser and you got Peterman that are both, quote-unquote mobile quarterbacks.
Right.
Quarterbacks can do both things. Dynamic quarterbacks, we'll call them. I'll use that word dynamic loosely. So what does that mean? Does that mean that they want 2 guys like that on the roster? Or is it Peterman that ships out? Or is it Glennon that ships out? I like Glennon only because, and again, I'll use this term loosely as well. He's plug and play behind Derek Carr, pocket QB. I would imagine he's number 2 because he's got most of the playbook under his belt, or more of it under his belt than Peterman.
Right.
We know Gruden values that. That's what I'm thinking. So I would rather have Glennon because if Carr goes down, you get access to more of your playbook. The scheme doesn't change. Things are more similar under Glennon. But who knows, man?
My argument has been the opposite, right? But I mean, let's be straight about this. Like, I don't want to see either of those motherfuckers touch the field, right?
No.
You want Derek Carr out there all 16 games and hopefully plus some, right? But we'll wait and see about that. But as far as them, like, you're right. I think Glennon takes on more of Derek Carr's attributes, right? And his style of play. But he's not Derek Carr.
No.
And he doesn't play to the level of Derek Carr. So when you look at it like that, you're like, well, I'm going to put a guy that's kind of like Derek Carr, but he's not going to be able to do everything that Derek Carr does. So maybe you just want to go completely opposite to give yourself other opportunities. Okay, so Nathan Peterman, he's not the ideal quarterback. He's not the pocket passer. But if we end up in a fucking bind, then maybe, we can ride his fucking legs.
Yeah.
For a couple wins or whatever, or however many games we need him for. That's my kind of view on it. I think Gruden likes the other attributes that he has as far as running the ball and whatnot, and I think he would kind of side with that.
Yeah.
Just because he knows you're not going to give me what Carr's going to give me anyway. So I might as well get somebody that's going to fucking be able to do something a little different.
And I mean, I guess, maybe it's a bit of a stretch, but to kind of go along with your point, you put in a guy that's totally different. The defense ain't prepared for that, but your team is because you've been practicing with the dude. So maybe that's another small twist you throw in there. I guess my contradiction to that would be EJ Manuel was on the roster.
That's true.
And, and this is a bit unfair because under the Del Rio regime when he got time, but he went out there and dude starts freelancing, right? The guy starts freelancing in the Ravens game, but
you can't do that shit.
Scores a touchdown freelancing. So here I go again. You know what I mean?
Here we go.
I was singing, here we go again on my
Yeah, I had to go to that Oakland fucking New Jack, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, but speaking of EJ Manuel, I just
EJ
saw
Magical.
I just saw him. Apparently, I think he's announcing college football now, man.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you just saw him at grocery outlet.
I might have, man. I don't know. No, I think he's announcing for the ACC now.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, hey,
good for him.
Landing on his feet, bro.
There's a joke there somewhere. I'm not going to make it.
Fact.
Those are the quick hits. Let's get down into the meat of it. Silver and Black Facts, man. Brought to you by us. That's right. Shout out to Mike. He's moved on to greener pastures. But let's talk about this, man. Silver and Black Facts. Let's look at this depth chart. We're not going to go over it name by name. But let's talk about the notable guys that have been released first off. Okay, so Keith Smith is gone.
Right.
We kind of saw that coming. In our depth chart, we had Ingold as a starter, right? Keith Smith had, I think, game 3 in the preseason, did well for himself, but just not good enough to push a guy out that's younger than you and performing at least at as high of a level as you.
Right.
And possibly a little bit more dynamic than you.
Maybe. Yeah.
I'd say Ingold's probably a better blocker. And I think Keith Smith's better like offensive fullback as far as like a weapon goes. That's what we liked about him bringing him in is like, okay, well, Alawala is out, which I still wish we had him.
Right.
But Smith's in there. He can catch balls too. He can run the football. Those things he does well. But Ingold,
I think he left a little bit of a sour taste in people's mouth last season, though, bro. You know what I mean? And I think that's part of the reason why he's not on the squad anymore. He just didn't recover from the lack of performance, right? When we brought him over, we expected him to do certain things for us. We're like, okay, yeah, we're bringing in a fullback. We're one of the only teams that's still doing the fullback thing. So this guy's he's one of the better ones. And then he got here, and everyone was kind of like, well, fucking not catching passes. He's kind of not blocking well, and then he started to fucking run. He started downtrending, I would say, with most fans.
Yeah,
real quick
disappeared, bro.
Yeah,
disappeared.
But we wish him the best, though, man. I mean, he put out a press release, right, and basically said like, "Yo, I appreciate the opportunity and thank you, Raider Nation," all that good stuff. So, hey, man, that's how when you do leave the team, that's how we appreciate you when you leave and you don't have anything negative to say or throw people under the bus, whatnot. That's what makes you a Raider for fucking life. That's the kind of person that we want to continue to like once they've left.
Yeah,
right. Not you, Randy Moss.
That's a good way to.
Not
put
you,
it.
Randy Moss.
Brandon Marshall, man. Brandon Marshall out. I wasn't shocked at this. I was saying that this could be a surprise cut. I think I said that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
a few weeks ago. He's out. You said on Twitter. He said he's fine. He's not injured.
Yeah, he's like, no, I'm okay. I'm ready to go right now.
Yeah.
So clearly, difference of opinion.
Yeah, difference of opinion. Hey, no doubt in my mind he's healthy, but that knee never got back to where it needed to be.
Right.
Brandon Marshall's speed, to me, was a question mark. What did I say earlier? He's this year's Derek Johnson.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair assessment. 2 guys that were names.
And here's the thing, though, is if he is this year's Derek Johnson, then we got rid of him at the right time, right? Because last year we carried Derek Johnson into the season, and then it didn't work out, and we had to get rid of him, and then that's when we brought Kabinda back, right? So, yeah.
Although we only have 4 linebackers.
Yeah, I know. I know.
And we're going to get into that a little bit. I mean, overall, guys, we're very happy with where the depth chart's at right now. It's really hard to be mad at it. There is talent up and down there as starters go, but on the back end of some of these positions, leaves a bit to be desired, and we're flush with QB right now. So there's a lot of questions. We're going to talk about that with Kane. We're going to talk about, who will we take, who will we keep, who will we bring back. We're going to get into that a little bit more detail. We're just kind of sitting, again, the table, giving you the facts right now.
Yeah.
Facts.
Those are facts.
Josh Morrow, released. He was penciled in at starter. That was the inside word. He was going to be starter. But it looks like Morrow is actually going to be re-signed. And am I saying that right? Morrow?
I mean, I guess.
We got Morrow, we got Morrow, and we got Morrow.
Yeah.
Is it more, though?
We got... I don't know, bro. I don't know.
It's a lot. It's a lot of Morrow. Josh Morrow. To be re-signed, he's going to be back. I would imagine he's re-signed by the end of the week. He's going to be on that field, I would say, September 9th, Monday Night Football. Season 1. Dun, 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 dun. Boom. Okay. So Morrow gone, but not forgotten and soon to return. Notable name right here, Justin Ellis, designated for IR. Likely they reach an injury settlement and Ellis is released, which is a tough one. Doug Martin, that's just playing some catch up. That was news last week, but also IR, same situation. Probably gonna reach a settlement and let Doug move on. Jelly man, he's loved by fans. He's a good dude. Just can't seem to stay on the field.
Yeah.
I think Mayock said it best, something to the tune of, John values availability. Everyone knows the cliche, the best ability is availability. And, with the defensive line being where it's at, it's a position that's been in flux for the last couple of years, definitely in this offseason. Justin, man, just not being available is hurting your spot. You got guys like Hankins, who's proven to be productive last year as a big boy. You got Anthony Rush that I thought was going to make a push for a spot.
Yeah, I thought he was going to make the 53, bro. I did.
And he's on the practice squad, right? And then you got PJ Hall, you got Maurice Hurst there. So you got a lot of candidates, and you got Corey Leggett. So we're going to talk about how.
Right.
Let's talk about it right now because we've gone through the list.
Let's do it.
How does the Corey Leggett signing impact the final roster on defense? Well, that's one thing right there.
Yeah, without that, so I would say that we were all basically on the same page, right? All the way up until that signing that we saw some of these young cats making the final 53. All of a sudden, Leggett gets there, and that throws for lack of better words, maybe that just throws a wrench in it, right? Like it just changes everything up because now you got a guy that they feel is a stud, right? And he's got to get one of those spots. So these young guys that we're thinking like, oh, these guys are showing up. They're going to make a push. They're going to make this 53. Anthony Rush being one of them. Now all of a sudden, you're not going to give up on PJ Hall yet, right? You're going to wait and see what he does this season. You're going to hope that he turns it around. He was taken pretty high, bro. He was a pretty high draft pick for us, PJ Hall, even though it was a controversial one, right? We still took him high, so you can't just cut ties on him.
No.
You got Mo Hurst, who you already know was going to be there. You got Hankins, who they're really happy and high on, right? So you're running out of spots, right? And then when you decide to keep 3 fucking quarterbacks and add a 4th, even more, right?
Yeah.
More problems, right? So Leggett threw a wrench in it, and he just basically he had a solidified spot when they signed him, basically, because of his history, I guess you could say, right? He already has production on the field. He's got plenty of film out there. So these young guys, they have to take a seat. They have to take a seat, and I'm hoping that whatever they do with Jelly then allows Rush to come back on this squad because I think he's that one guy that you do want to bring back onto this 53.
Yeah.
The way he's getting into the backfield, the way nobody can fucking block him one-on-one, that's a guy you want on the team. Yeah. That's a guy you want in there on Sunday, bro.
And what I saw, too, wasn't just technique versus less skilled, second, third string players. I saw brute strength push the motherfuckers back.
No, he's just stronger than you.
Yeah.
And his fucking Twitter says that he can't be blocked. That's his Twitter handle. Can't be blocked.
I like that.
I like it too.
Big tone.
Big tone sets the tone, bro. Yeah. So I want that guy. I want to see that guy.
Yeah.
I don't think maybe we won't see. Maybe we'll see him on Monday night, but maybe we won't. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say, look for him to be rejoining this squad somewhere in the near future. Maybe by the second week, third week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, because how can you not, man? That big boy.
Because we got
he does it.
As far as big bodies, you can make a case here for Leggett. He's 300-pounder, 6'2". Hankins, a big boy. But you need rotation for those big boys, and I think Big Tone would be a major asset there. Now, Corey, talk about Corey just a little bit. He came into the league, I think, 2011. That was a lockout, so it kind of a setback for rookies coming in the league that time. They're forced to do a lot of things on their own, not allowed to enter the facility and all that. But it was in 2012, after his rookie season, gets pushed into immediate duty due to injury with the Chargers. But in 2012, breakout season. Second-year man, starts all 16 games, 7 sacks, 61 tackles, 15 tackles for loss, 9 passes defended. Beasting out that year. That's a hell of a year for second-year defensive lineman. That's a hell of a year for any defensive lineman. Does well in his third year. 5.5 sacks, 42 tackles, 2 passes defended, blocked field goal, forced fumble. Productive season. 2014, gets a touchdown against the San Francisco 49ers. We like that. We like that a lot.
Yeah, we like that, man.
Again, a little more downtrending, right? 4.5 sacks, 57 tackles, 2 passes defended, 2 forced fumbles. He's got them Autry hands, bro.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
That's my boy, right?
You're Autry, bro. There you go, dog.
So he's got them Autry hands. But, he signs a 5-year extension with the Chargers. In 2015, fast forward to 2018, suspended 4 games for a PED violation. And in Week 11, torn quad, out for the season. Placed on injured reserve November 21st. And 2019, February 13th. Chargers declined the option on Leggett's contract, making him a free agent. August 25th, 2019, entered the silver and black. Corey Leggett. Big Tone, odd man out here. If he's not here, Rush is on this 53-man roster, at least until Jelly gets back healthy.
Right.
At least, right? So it's actually a pretty big impact on the defense. Or if not that, maybe that's a Kabinda spot. I don't know. People really like Kabinda. I like Kabinda too, but let's be real. He did well last year coming in. For who he was, for what we knew about him, he did well. I won't say he just did well, but for who he is, where he came from, what he was fighting against, I think he came in, he was serviceable. That's a fair enough description. But in the preseason this year, I think he got hyped up a lot because of Hard Knocks. When you really look at his play in the preseason, it was really up and down.
Yeah.
It's a lot of missed opportunities. A guy that started games in the NFL last year should have been making more plays in the preseason against the second and third string defenses or offenses. So, not a huge shocker. I think Kabinda is liked again. Hard Knocks does a lot for a player.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it did a lot for Kabinda. So
yeah, I think so too.
So so that's that, man. That's that on Corey Leggett's impact on this defense, at least as far as the depth chart's concerned. We'll know more about his impact on the field once the season kicks off in
True that.
8 days.
Woo!
7 days for those of you listening at home. 6 days for those of you listening on Tuesday. 5. You get the point. It's on demand. So more about the depth chart here. Again, we're going to get into this throughout the entire show. How 4 QBs impact the final roster on offense.
Yeah.
I mean, the 2 obvious names that pop up are Keelan Doss and Marcel Amen. Amen now on the practice squad, but Doss now on the Jaguars practice squad.
Right.
So good news there is, guys, for those of you that don't know how the practice squad works, one part of it is if we are in need, I can't even talk right now. If we are in need of a wide receiver, something bad happens, Grant goes down, God forbid Williams or Brown or somebody goes down, and we have a slot that we need to backfill.
Right.
We could pluck him off of that Jaguars practice squad, with the only caveat being that we pluck him to sign him to the 53-man roster.
Right.
What'll likely end up happening though is Amen will be promoted from the practice squad.
Yeah.
So
I think you're right.
Again, Doss, another player, helped tremendously by Hard Knocks, but Doss helped himself a lot with this play in the preseason. However, in that 4th game, man, back-to-back drops.
Yeah.
I think when I saw that, I was like, man, if you were on the bubble, Doss, because we were talking, right? We were going to do a show last week. We were talking. This would be a tough cut, man.
Yeah.
Down to 53. It's going to be a tough cut. People are going to be sad. Again, Hard Knocks, a lot of fan favorites now. Doss is maybe going to be a casualty. We were working the 53-man roster, our version of it, just trying to work him in there. And he made it, right? He made the cut on our roster. I think he made the cut on a lot of people's roster. I mean, it's just a great story, right? Yeah. Alameda native, all that. But, Doss is out there, man. We wish him the best.
Yeah, man. And who knows? Like you said, man, you just never know. Maybe he comes back. Maybe we bring him back. It's not impossible. But the Jaguars like to pick up a lot of our fucking guys, bro, that went undrafted or whatever that we pick up, and because they did that with Jaden Mickens too.
Oh, that's right.
Remember they took him, and then he was one of their return guys.
Yeah.
I just saw he got cut too. I think by Detroit. Yeah, man. I thought that guy was gonna stick somewhere, man.
Mickens.
I thought he was gonna stick somewhere.
Mickens. How else do they impact the offense, man? So, I mean, that's really the notable.
They're taking up too many fucking slots. That's how they're impacting. How, man.
I'll argue that they even impact the defense. When you look at the split,
Yeah.
I mean, by the math, you want to say 25 offense, 25 defense, 3 special teams. When you talk about your punter, your kicker, and your long snapper,
Right.
You know, all your gunners and stuff are listed as offense or defense, you know, as according to their natural position. But, you know, I think the offense right now, I think it's like 29 players.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, John definitely got his toys. Paul Gunther's like, bruh, 4 linebackers, dog. And we're going to make sense of that for you guys, too. For those of you that haven't already figured out, we'll talk about that a little bit, too. But, you know, that's a big impact. Now, one of these guys is going to move. Mayock's already said there's more tweaks to come this week. Everybody knows they make these final cuts. That's not going to be your final roster. The good news, I mean, the Texans are out here playing Madden, so fuck them. I mean, don't use them as an example. But, you know, the team like the Raiders right now, and it feels good to say this, when you got a guy like Mayock in there, I don't think Mayock or Gruden ever stop looking at this roster and how can we get better.
No, bro, you know they spend countless hours after fucking practices or whatnot. You know Gruden's got him on the phone if they're not in the office till like midnight, you know? Or 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, sitting there just going over it over and over and over.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to continue to do that exact same thing all throughout the season, right? They're going to talk about other stuff, but then I'm sure they'll be like, who else can we add to this? Or who else do we need to get, move? I think it'll be like that. It'll be like that. They're going to constantly be analyzing the players on this team.
So somebody just clued us in. Kumbinda signed with Detroit.
Okay. That was Dre, huh? Dre the Great.
Yeah. AB plus DC equals TD said that. I think Dre might have actually said that too. Dre actually says Rico Gafford greater than Keelan Doss.
It's a hot take.
That's a hot one, man. That's a flamethrower.
Throw that hot take.
I gotta find the button, dog. I'm afraid to push the wrong button. That's fire, man. That's
that was for you, man. That was special for you, man.
And who else over here? Okay, Grizz makes a good point, and I was actually going to make this point as well. You know, Grant and Nelson make great 4 or 5 wide receivers, could be starters on other teams. I don't disagree with that at all, man. In fact, that was kind of like a discussion we were having, the three of us, myself, Che, and Kane. You know, Kane really, and I think this happened on the air actually about 3 weeks ago. Kane was saying, hey, I think these coaches really like the youth. I think they want to push the youth movement. And I didn't disagree with them. My take was different, but I was like, I see where you're coming from, but why wouldn't you want to have that? But then again, I also saw, if you're going to have vets, why bury them at 4 and 5? Right. These guys can get snaps other places and you can get cheaper and you can get younger. But again, I think this all goes back to what we talked about at the beginning of this offseason, man. 0 excuses for Derek Carr this year.
Right.
Up and down the roster, man. 0 excuses for Carr this year.
Yeah.
I mean, if the line gets hurt, you're going to start making cases for him, but you got enough weapons on the outside and in the backfield and at tight end to where he's got plenty of bailouts. I mean, again, 0 excuses for Derek Carr this year. And so having a guy like Grant and Nelson on the roster, again, that's just insurance for you right there. That's veteran insurance. And you don't want to just cut guys like that. Maybe they thought they can get something for them, but you're really not strong enough for trade bait either. So, you're stuck with guys like that. But it's a good problem to have. Those are good players to be,
hell yeah, man,
quote unquote, stuck with.
Hell yeah.
I love JJ Nelson's speed, man, and I think Grant's a sturdy dude. So, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at any of these cuts. You can be a little bit disappointed that some of your favorite youngsters went. That's always hard to see. But when's the last time we've been in this boat?
Yeah.
And we talked about, we were just talking about it. Gruden and Mayock working 24/7 to make this roster better. That's a good thing. Last year, you can argue maybe it wasn't because at the very last minute, lots of changes before week 1, right?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
On the offensive line, the defensive line.
That also wasn't Mayock, though. Okay, so let's remember that. Last season, it was Reggie, and I think everybody already kind of knew the writing was on the wall as far as, like, these guys ain't going to get along. They don't really want to work with each other. and somebody's got to go, and it ain't gonna be Gruden, right? We kind of got that feeling immediately as soon as Gruden was announced as the coach. So I think this is different. I don't think we're gonna see these like sporadic, like last second changes. We're not gonna see that. I think they have their guys, and if they see somebody out there or they think somebody is out there that can contribute or can make them better, right? Make the team as a whole better, then they'll do that. And if they don't see it, it's not gonna happen.
Those moves happened at the last minute last year because John was just waiting for Reggie to take a nap. He was just like, is he asleep? Is he really asleep?
Let's make it happen.
Did you knock on the door? Give me one of my phones. That's the wrong phone. That's my wife's phone. That's the wifey hotline right there. Just entered the chat, Ladies of Darkness. Shout out to you guys.
Yeah.
Check out the Ladies of Darkness. I know a lot of you are actually listening to them more now. That sounds bad. That came out wrong. I know a lot of pillagers joined them. I know they got a lot of new listeners, getting a lot of traction. Those ladies are crushing it right now. I had a chance to listen to their last episode. They're like Mayock and Gruden. They keep tweaking their roster to see what they can do better.
There you go.
And this last week, they're really drilling down on the audio quality of that show. It's been better for a long time, and it got a whole lot better this week. So that show just continues to get better and better and better. Ladies of Darkness just keep grinding. We're proud of you guys. We're happy to ride with y'all. Angria, my bad, I keep doing that. Angria.
Hey, man, punishment sauce. This next, you got to take punishment sauce for that one, bro. All right. Crow's Nest.
No, we'll do one. We'll do one after the break. After the guest, though. Okay,
yeah.
Because I don't weird that dude out. Those of you that don't listen to the Crow's Nest, anytime we drop a government or anytime we cross the line, and that line's really far out there with this group, but I managed to find it. It's a punishment sauce. So I got some pretty lethal hot sauces in the fridge downstairs.
Yeah,
and it's 357 Scovilles of punishment coming to my face.
That's no fucking
in the
joke,
second half of this show.
It's no joke, man.
It's no joke.
You're already sweating, man. I feel bad for you. I feel bad for you.
Fact.
I feel bad for you, son. So we're going to get into this depth chart even more in the second half. We're going to wait for Kane to come on here. But before that happens, I mean, anything for you, besides the guys we've already mentioned, is there anything you're mad at or concerned about or you scratch your head besides the quarterbacks?
Yeah, that's basically the only thing. Honestly, I mean, I was kind of pulling for Doss. Like you said, great story, right? He caught everybody's attention, man. You know, he played really well in the preseason, with exception for the fourth game, right? There were some issues there, definitely. But it was a feel good story, right? So you were kind of pulling for him. You were thinking, all right, man, well, maybe we are going to run with some young guys, you know, to finish up this wide receiver core. And then when that didn't turn out, I was kind of like, well, I did kind of feel like that going into it, right? Beginning after the first game, I was kind of like, I don't know, man. I think we just keep JJ Nelson and Grant. Like, yeah. I don't see why not. But like you said, like Kane made the point, like, well, yeah, those guys are going to play fucking on special teams, and do those guys really want to play special teams?
Right.
You know, that's why you keep young guys. So,
right.
But here we are. Yeah. We kept them. So I hope they were going to play fucking special teams. I
hope so.
Get your ass out there and play some fucking special teams, dog.
At least Ryan Grant, right? I mean, Grant's been working hard in the NFL trying to make plays for himself. He was with, Washington not too long ago with Jay Gruden. I know Jay and John are both high on this dude. You know, especially with Isaiah Johnson now. Isaiah Johnson, a gunner on the special teams. Very raw talent defensively, but definitely value on the special teams. We hope he gets back soon. Special teams, big part of this team. Ralph Bisaccia, man.
Yeah. Bisaccia.
He wants his guys, man. He needs his soldiers in there. You know what I mean? Got a lot of new players joining the chat here. Chevy Raider. What's up, Chevy? Yeah. What's up, Grizz? Everybody out there. Anyways, we're going to be taking a short break. Is it a good time to do it?
Yeah, I think so, bro. I got some droplets running down my face right now.
We're gonna go. We're gonna take a quick military shower, and we'll be back in just a moment. Hang in there, y'all.
Yeah.
And we're back in effect.
Yeah.
Kenny Stapler, Che, riding with you. And on the phone right now, we got Kane. This is Kane's Corner, brought to you every week by NFLshop.com. Kane, how you living, my brother?
I'm good. What's happening with y'all?
Well, just living the life up here in the Crow's Nest. It's about 7:53 p.m. on the West Coast, and it's about 85 degrees right now in the Crow's Nest.
Yeah.
Hey man, at least it done cooled down, bro. Y'all got to say it's gonna cool down a whole lot, man. I'm sick of heat, man, and I love California, but this weather.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was about 98 degrees down here today, so I'm waiting for that cool off that you speak of.
Right?
We had some of that earlier in the week.
85 is better than 100, right?
Yeah.
Shit. It's been 100 degrees everywhere in California. Even in San Francisco, where I work at, even, where it's fog and shit in the morning. In the afternoon, after you start working, it felt like it's 100 degrees, man.
Well, I'm about 15 miles from the coast, and I would prefer it was 65 degrees at 8 o'clock at night and not 85 degrees at 8 o'clock at night, but I hear where you're coming from. The good news is the sun's setting earlier, and it's cooling off a little bit in the Crow's Nest. But, Kane, man, we got a lot to talk about. As you know, the 53-man roster is set for now. There's going to be some tweaks going through the week. But first off, before we get into some of the head-scratchers, any big surprises for you in regards to the final roster?
Yeah, I think I had read something that said Jelly got cut. Was I correct on that? I done read a whole bunch of he was cut, he wasn't cut, he's on the roster, he's not on the roster. I'm not too sure about that, but that was a head scratcher for me because Jelly is a big part of the stop the run game.
Yeah,
has been a big part of that since the Raiders drafted him. So I wouldn't understand if you really don't. You got Maurice Hurst. Who else do you have?
Well, Justin Ellis is actually IR. Yeah, IR and looking to probably for an injury settlement. So all intents and purposes, yeah, he's been cut. Let me put my sunglasses on so I can see what I'm doing.
So that's confirmed. That's confirmed.
Confirmed. That's right, brother.
Confirmed.
So yeah, Ellis, bit of a surprise there. You know what I mean? I'm with you. You got Hankins.
And other than that, no other surprise cuts.
No, not
the roster looks like I thought it. Yeah. I mean, I thought Keelan Doss and Aitman would actually make the roster. I didn't think, Grant or Nelson would make the roster. I honestly didn't think, and I said that, on the podcast a couple weeks ago. I said that, and I'm gonna stick to that. I just don't think you're wasting roster spots with veterans where you could have young guys developing that may not be able to. And as you see, Doss didn't even make it, to the practice squad. So, you got players that's got success in they forward mirror, and you cut them. Okay, that's fine, but try to get them on the practice squad. You didn't, and you kept. I think Grant Nelson. I think that was just, in my opinion, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
So that's just me.
Yeah, I know. We were just talking about that before we brought you on. You were pro youth movement, and even though we were on the other side of that, we also couldn't disagree with you. So, but we were also talking about quarterback position the last time we were all on the air. At that time, Peterman was your dude. The Raiders end up keeping both Glennon and Peterman, and also claiming Deshaun Kaiser off waivers. The Raiders aren't going into the season with 4 quarterbacks. They may not even go into the season with 3. But what do you make about all of this? Is Kaiser, a lock to make the roster as possibly the 3rd QB? What's going on with that? Is Glennon or Peterman trade fodder? Is Kaiser a practice squad designation coming up? What do you make of all this quarterback mania here in Oakland?
John Gruden. That's what I make of it. It's called John Gruden. It's like aspirin. It's like ibuprofen. It's called John Gruden. John Gruden.
Damn, okay.
John Gruden likes quarterbacks. Uh-huh. And I made a joke with somebody earlier this week. I said, Mike Mayock is giving John Gruden some toys to play with while he figure out the roster. He's got Peterman and Glenn on, and now he's picked up Kaiser. So, John Gruden.
Yeah,
that's what I called it.
Rich
Twilight Zone.
Rich Eisen tweeted
I mean,
out.
what else can you call it? shit, it's what it is.
Eisen tweeted out earlier today, 4 quarterbacks on the roster. John Gruden is not in love with any of them, which I disagree with. I think Gruden and Carr have a good relationship.
Well, you know what? He does like Carr. He's looking. John Gruden wants to be like, okay, you know what? You might get hurt. You could just hike the ball and somebody can run up on you on an accident and hurt you. Yeah. And then I have no one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So John Gruden is a quarterback himself. So he's like, you know what? I'm looking for the next me. I'm looking for the next Gannon. I'm looking for the next Carr. I'm looking for the next John Gruden. I'm looking for the next John Gruden. I'm looking for the next John Gruden. And he hasn't found that yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Until he finds that, he's going to have a whole bunch of quarterbacks that he thinks that John Gruden can handle.
John Gruden.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's just what it is.
And you're talking about John Gruden, right?
I'm talking about John Gruden.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we all know this. I mean, let's go all the way back. I mean, Tuiasosopo. This guy has wanted to draft his guy. He's wanted to draft his guy before he even approached Gannon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Before he even approached Gannon. He's wanted his own guy. Gannon is not his own guy. John Gruden wants to draft or develop his guy. And until he does that, he's going to have a whole bunch of toys to play with.
So
that's just how it works.
On the other side of that, I mean, there was a lot of talk before Gruden came back about him wanting to come into a situation that had a quarterback that was tailor-made for him. So I guess that's the other side of the argument is, you know, coming in, he sees Derek Carr in there feeling like this is a piece that I can work with.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you could also say that Derek Carr needed to be coached up, too. He had a lot of inconsistency as far as coaches behind him, a lot of inconsistency in his play. Even though he's no longer a young quarterback, you can honestly say he's a veteran quarterback in this league. He's still there's pieces of that clay that have not hardened that can still be molded. But, you know, so John comes in with the ready-made quarterback for he could step in and continue their development. But you're saying, on the other hand, in the background, he still wants a reclamation project. He still wants something that he can leave his legacy to and point at and be like, I did this. I changed this guy. I made this guy work when he previously didn't work.
It's like Bill Walsh and Joe Montana. Bill Walsh can say, if he was still alive today, and much respect to Bill Walsh, he can say, I found my guy, and he fit my system, and I won 5 Super Bowls. So John Gruden wants to, being that he's under that tree, find his guy, develop his guy to play his system, and win 5 Super Bowls. Now, is Derek Carr that guy? That's what we need to be as today, not later on. Fuck what he trying to do with Deshaun Kaiser and Nathan Peterman and Glennon. What is he doing today with Derek Carr? That speaks a lot to Derek Carr. Mm-hmm. He's not putting somebody up there to compete with Derek Carr. He wants to be the person to find that person that succeeds Derek Carr. And until he does that, he's going to keep doing that. And then when he does it and that person gets traded for a second or first round pick to the next team, he's going to do it again, and he's going to do it again. That's what he would like to do as a coach, as John Gruden. So I understand you having a fantasy or a fatuation with Glennon and Peterman and Kaiser. You know, you're trying to find that next guy. That's what you do. That's a coach. And I respect that. But at the same time, can we get somebody that can come in and play if Derek Carr gets hurt today? Can Glennon, can Peterman or Kaiser do that? I don't think so.
No.
Glennon might be the closest person to it. But can we get somebody like a Geno Smith that came in and ripped up our defense? And you know, it was the thirds and the fourths. But again, can you get somebody that's a little bit more in the progression of quarterback life to come in and be the successor of Derek Carr? And right now we don't have that. I appreciate your thoughts and how you want to be the next guy to find the next guy. But right now, we got a guy, and if he goes down, we have no one. That's all. That's my concern right there. That's my only concern.
Right. In the short term, if John's done enough with these two guys in the preseason to where he can get some collateral for them in a trade, John can lightweight also say he did his job there and coach these guys up to get some value for him. And that makes John happy. That makes obviously Mike happy. And then hopefully down the road, that makes us fans happy with, what we get in return on that trade. Probably a low round draft pick, but there's another project that's coming in that's moldable. So let's kind of move forward from this. The roster is 53 man. Again, there's going to be some moves here coming before the opening night. But as it stands right now, you got 4 QBs on the roster. You got Corey Liggett that comes in last minute. There's some names there. If you can get rid of one guy on offense and one guy on defense and bring back one guy on each side of the ball that didn't make the cut, who would they be? So you're going to get rid of one current offensive player, one current defensive player, and bring back a guy either on the practice squad currently or a guy that we did not retain, like Keelan Doss or Jason Kabinda. Who are those guys going to be for you, Kane?
I'm gonna have to say, my one key. Hey, we all wanted Keelan Doss to make the roster, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got 4 quarterbacks, or you even created a spot for a 4th quarterback.
Yeah.
So yeah. So one of the quarterbacks, and I don't care who they are, John. One of them, we could have had another receiver, a young guy to develop. And then on defense, Kabinda. And here we are again. I'm going to say quarterbacks, because this roster is short of a lot of players, and I know we're probably going to talk about this later, because you kept a bunch of quarterbacks. So, again, Kabinda, and you cut. What was you cut one of the DBs Nick Nelson. Let's just say, for example, you cut Nick Nelson. I think that was because of a quarterback roster spot too. You know what I'm saying? So let's just say if you cut Nick Nelson, okay, replace him with a Jason Kabinda. You only have 4 linebackers. You sacrificed other positions so you can keep 3 quarterbacks. So we can only look at when we start to say who you shouldn't have cut and who you should have cut. We can start at the quarterback position and then work our way down, because there was a lot of positions, but that one position, that linebacker position, you could have filled that instead of keeping another quarterback. Do you guys agree with me with that, or am I just over?
No, you're not wrong there. We're going to get into that. But if you had to give up one defensive player that we currently have right now to bring one linebacker back, who would you give up, and what would be the linebacker that you pull back?
Kayshawn Nixon.
Okay, you would get rid of Nixon, and you would bring back...
And I'll bring back Kabinda.
You bring back Kabinda, okay. I would argue that Nixon had a solid preseason.
Yeah.
In the corners, we need the depth there too, but I think everybody would like to see that happen. You know what I mean? As far as bringing a linebacker in here, getting a little bit more depth.
Having a little more depth at linebacker would be.
What about you, Che? Did you answer that question already?
As far as cutting, who would I cut and bring back?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know, man.
That's a hard question.
I don't know. Obviously, the obvious answer for me would be you cut one of those fucking quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Right? That's the obvious answer for me, because I don't really like any of those motherfuckers anyways.
Cut 2 QBs, bring back Dawson Rush.
Yeah, so my that would be my go-to, cut one or both of those motherfuckers and bring, but obviously we got to have a backup. So I'll be realistic, right? But I would cut one of them and be like, yo, bring back a linebacker to have a little bit more depth. Bring back Kabinda, or you add Anthony Rush to the fucking D line, bro.
I like
defensive line, exactly.
I like
I
Nixon.
agree with you. I agree with you on that.
I like Nixon. I think he can develop over time. I think in the meantime he's going to be a stud for us on special teams.
Yeah.
But Big Tone, Anthony Rush, that's the guy on defense I'd bring back. I like Kabinda. I like his personality. I like his storyline, but I did not like his inconsistency. What I saw from Big Tone was just a big, strong dude that likes to push the pocket. That's who I would bring back. But I think all answers are fair points. I think very fair points. Now let's get to that fact. 4 linebackers on the roster is concerning. Yes, very much so. But also, this league is changing. This is a passing league. This is a spread offense league for now. It will change again very shortly, possibly even as soon as next year. But what I see PG doing, we're going to be in the nickel a lot. And you're going to see 3 safeties on this field quite a bit. If you look at the depth chart, you got 6 safeties, I think it is, on the roster. You got 4 linebackers. So you tell me what's going on.
Right.
Am I wrong?
No, I don't think you are, man.
Yeah. I think you're
No, I don't think you are.
I think it's definitely trending in that direction, right?
You got Riley, you got Harris on the back end, and up front you got Joseph, Joyner, and of course you got Abram. So those 3 players right there you're going to see on the field often this year. You're going to see Joyner, Joseph, and Abram. A lot of people were saying, well, what's going to happen to so-and-so?
Right.
You're going to see all 3 of those guys.
Yeah.
You're going to see Joseph in the box. You're going to see Abram in the box. Hell, you might see Joyner in the box. All 3 of those guys can hit. Joyner can play the safety. He can play the box. He can play the slot. Joyner's going to move around a lot this year. Much like John's offense, PG's defense, lots of sub packages, lots of changes. You're going to see a NASCAR front. You're going to see 4 DEs up there. You're going to see a double A gap. It's going to be a lot of speed. You saw PG already blitzing in the preseason. What does that tell me? It tells me PG's got a lot more up his sleeve.
Yeah.
Because generally you don't show your cards.
But still, you still need depth at the linebacker position. Even though
you
might only play two linebackers on first and second down, you might not have a linebacker playing on third and fourth. And I agree with that. And everything you're saying Kenny is correct, bro. I agree. Everything you're saying. But what I want to say is you only have 4. So if somebody get hurt, you only got 3. Now you down to kits and biddles. You know what I'm saying? So Kabinda was Kabinda. When you ask me who would I cut and keep, was Kabinda or was one of those other linebackers? I think Moreau made the team, right?
Yeah,
Moreau made the 53. Okay, so Kabinda, was he worth cutting?
Yeah.
Because if he got picked up by another team, then obviously he wasn't, just like Keelan Dawes and these other guys. But my point I'm trying to make is we're gonna run our scheme, we're gonna do what we do, and we hoping on that everybody plays in their position and everything works out like it does. But when you get some injuries, then you have no depth. Here we are back to where we started in 2015-16. No depth. We have starters with no depth at a whole lot of positions right now, even at defensive back. And we're going to get to that later on, I'm sure, because that's part of the program. But I'm just saying, there's no depth at a lot of positions. There should be depth at, and linebacker is a position there should be absolutely at least 5 or 6 linebackers, and we only have 4.
Right.
So
and
that's a situation right there that needs to be taken care of through these waiver wire pickups and what have not.
Yeah, look for Oakland to bring in another linebacker. I know it was reported this morning we were in trade talks to get Kiko Alonso. He ended up in I'm blanking right now. I wanted to say he ended up in New Orleans, but I don't think that's right. God, he landed somewhere this morning, but that just tells me Raiders are in play for a linebacker somewhere along the lines, and who knows, maybe that's one of these quarterback trades. I don't expect some star splash signing, but there'll be somebody in there. Hey, if not, promote Anthony Rush, plug him in at linebacker.
Right.
What can go? No one's paying attention to that. Tony Rush is not playing linebacker. But yeah, I think a linebacker is still to join this squad sometime this week. But you're right. Regardless of what your packages you're putting out on the field, Kane's right. You need to have depth. Somebody's going to get hurt. Markel Lee's been hurt in the past. Someone's going to go down. It's tackle football. It's a contact sport.
You're right about Alonso. He went to the Saints.
Okay. Yeah, so that would have been a nice pickup there, Kiko Alonso. But
I would have loved that pickup. Oh, my God. A lot of people was like, what? I'm like, yeah. Yeah. So that was too bad we didn't get him.
And Stack's right. Kabinda was picked up by Detroit and signed to their practice squad. So if need be in a pinch, we could always pick up Kabinda. He would go straight to the 53-man roster.
Yeah.
So as far as the
Kabinda made the practice squad?
Yeah,
really?
He's in. He's on.
I thought the one I saw didn't have him on there. Okay, cool.
Kane. Todd. He's on the Lions practice squad. So what I'm saying is, if we were to sign him, we would have to sign him to the 53-man roster. So, but I mean, that's not necessarily bad. We have tape on him. We've seen him. We know who he is. So if we're in a pinch, I mean, Kabinda is going to get a contract, and he's going to be on the field. So
yeah,
he's gone, but not completely lost just yet. I mean, that's So we'll see what happens there. Yeah. Any changes, man? All things considered, we did a record prediction. I think you had us at 7-9. Anything you want to change about that prediction, Kane?
Absolutely not.
All right.
No. I mean, we look good in preseason. The offense looked great. There's still some questions on defense. Like I said, we got 4 linebackers. The defensive, the DB core. For some reason, I mean, the DB core looked real good, throughout the preseason. But at the end, when I look at the 53-man roster and I look at the defensive backs, again, this is an area where we need more depth. You guys may not agree with me. I was a defensive back. I played football. I just feel like you should have 11 DBs. That's just like you should have 11 offensive linemen and 11 defensive linemen. That's something that you should have. Y'all think it's funny. And when I say DBs, I mean safeties and cornerbacks.
Yeah.
I don't mean just cornerbacks. I mean the whole defensive backfield as a whole. On your roster, you should have at least 11 of them.
Well, we have 12.
We got 12 right now. You got 12 right now. And that's if you include Nevin Lawson, who's going to serve out his suspension here at the beginning of the season. But you got Worley and Conley are going to be your corners. Then you got Mullen right behind them. I got Isaiah Johnson dealing with injury. He'll be back. He'll be a special teams player. I would not put him in as a corner. He's a special teams guy. But then you got Nevin Lawson. You got Keyshawn Nixon. Again, Nixon showing talent in the preseason. Again, those against second and third stringers. Raw, young dude. But you got Joyner in a pinch, too. Joyner can play that third corner position, which he will. But I think they're going to
let's look at the top 5 or top 4. How does that sound to you? The top 3 sound good to me. After that is the question.
Worley, Conley, Joyner, not a problem there. Trayvon Mullen, I'm high on. I think that kid, he's going to take about a year to get up to speed. I think by year 2, he'll be good.
Then after that, there's a question.
After that, it's a fall off. But again, look around the league. Look at these other depth charts. You're going to find a lot of teams in a similar predicament. It's next man up all the way around the league. You get a starter, you get a star player to go down, automatically you're in trouble. The good news is we got talent at every level of the defense this year, and that's the big difference from this year over the past 7,000 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But you're not wrong, Kane. I'm just trying to breathe some life.
I mean, no, you put it in perspective, but I'm just saying that in my opinion, we're weak at 2 positions on defense, and it's defensive back, linebacker. We need more depth. And yes, you're correct, but we need, when I say more depth, I need veteran.
Yeah.
Just at least somebody, Now, Brandon Marshall might have been slow and not, but somebody maybe a little bit older, maybe 1 to 2 years older than him, but, that's got a few years in the league that's still like perfect. We need somebody that's on the bench that could come in behind Lee or these guys and still, there's no drop off. You know what I'm saying? This is like when we had Charles Woodson in the DB spot. We need to have some just that 1 or 2 guys there that, and I do want to go young, but I when we drop off, we need to be able to switch to that player that's got field smarts.
Yeah.
He may not be as fast and react as fast, but he can teach them while he's on the field. And we don't have that at those 2 positions right now. And that's all I'm saying.
And this whole debate could be solved if we weren't carrying 4 quarterbacks.
Right? Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah. But I mean, I think that sums it up well. There's, at the end of the day, fairly happy with this roster, at least with the starters up and down. There's a lot of talent on this roster that was not there last year.
Right.
As far as our season predictions go, I checked in with you before the show, Che. You're not changing. I'm not changing.
Hell no.
I'm at 8-8. You were at what? 9-7.
No, I went 10-6.
10-6. All right, so we got the spread covered.
And I said 7-9.
And you said 7-9. So one of us will be right this year. That's for damn sure. Unless we go 9-7. So
Right.
But man, Kane, it's good checking in with you. I hope you enjoy your barbecue, bro.
Yeah.
It's all good, man. How y'all holiday weekend going, man? Everything, you know what I'm saying? Did the barbecue pits light up right?
I actually left the barbecue right before the show, man, and my boy had on these gigantic fucking tomahawks. They just didn't get cooked before I had to leave, man. So I had to leave that tomahawk behind, man. It was a sad sight.
As a Raider fan, it's your duty to avoid all tomahawks, chops, steaks. My weekend's been good. A little bit of a delayed celebration, but me and my lady celebrated 3 years together this weekend. We actually went
congratulations, my brother.
Appreciate it. We actually went to Great America yesterday to have some fun in the sun.
There you go.
And then I took her out to Ethiopian food after that. Shout out to Mudai in San Jose, West San Jose. Delicious food out there. Good people out there. It was hot. It was spicy.
Yeah.
It was delicious.
That's what's up.
And what are you grilling tonight, Kane? What's going on the grill?
Some tri-tip little steaks. Not tri-tip, but they call tri-tip steaks.
Yeah.
And I know we got people that ain't from California that listen. They don't know what I'm talking about, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Tri-tip steaks.
All right.
They taste good and they tender and real good. Just a little salad and some bread. Nothing special, man. I got I'm just trying to chill.
Just keep it simple, man. Keep it simple.
So this is a holiday weekend, and for Raider fans, next week is a holiday weekend as well because we play on Monday Night Football. I know a lot of people take a Monday and Tuesday off, and some of y'all are just going to soldier through and get to the game Monday night. Kane, will you be at the tailgate with us? Tailgating an A-lot.
Absolutely.
Row 4.
I will be there.
Okay.
I will be there with bells on. I'll be there. So I'm ready, man. Damn, man. I'm ready, man. What's funny is were we the only team that didn't play like a week 3 preseason game? Because I watched the other teams and they all played their quarterbacks and they starters and everything,
Yeah, but
then I look at us and was it because we went to Canada or
they didn't have an 80-yard field out there, bro?
Yeah. I think you touched on it, Ken. I think 1, we went to Canada. I think 2, what you're seeing too is there was a lot more tougher decisions this year to be made, and I think John just wanted to take a longer look at these bubble players and then looking around the league and all these starters falling off in the preseason. It's just a warning sign to the rest of the teams. Hey, be careful with what you got. So I think the third point there is just just taking care with your roster.
Yeah, definitely.
You saw it on Hard Knocks, John preaching safety all the way through practices, trying to keep the starters healthy, and just being real careful with the guys he has because as we just spent, a good 30 minutes talking about, once you get past that first string, it starts to taper off pretty quickly. So I think it was a lot of that, but I think mainly they just wanted to take an extended look at these backups and who are we going to keep? It's a tough cut from 90 to 53.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It's
over under 10 wins.
In wins?
Over under 10 wins.
I'm going to say under.
Well, I said 10, so I'm on the dot.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. I'm staying there.
Yeah.
I'm staying there. I'm right at 10.
It don't matter your total prediction. I'm just saying, do we win more or less than 10 games?
Well,
or
that's
lose
what I'm saying.
more or less than 10 games?
If my prediction is 10, it's not going to be either. It's right at 10.
Yeah, so technically Che's on the over.
I guess you can put me in the over.
Okay, so we could be 6-10 or 10-6 in your opinion, right?
No. I said 10-6, bro. What are you talking about? I don't know where you going with this, bro.
I had to fuck with you.
I said 10-6, dog.
All right. Okay, I got you. I'm just fucking with you. No, I think we win at least 9 games, man. Okay. Like I said, I've been saying this on PJ4F blog. I've been saying it on Twitter. I've been saying it on here. You know what I'm saying? 7-9. 8-8, 9-7. The reason why I say that, and real quick, is because we have 7, and I know there's a bye week and a travel schedule, this, that, in between those 7 road games. Well, we have 7 back-to-back road games. Regardless of how they line up or where they end up, you're going to have to win 4 of the 7 road games in order to be 8-8 or 9-7. If you're 3-4 in those road games, you're not going to. In my opinion, this is my opinion. You're going to have to prove this to me that you can do it. You're going to have to beat San Diego and the Chiefs in Oakland, and you just haven't done that. So I want to see that. So this is why I have a 7-9 prediction, is because you got that combination of back-to-back road games, and then will you beat those 2 teams at home? Now the other 5 games, that's a 50-50. You can win them either, lose them, but you still haven't beaten those 2 teams at home, and they're in your division. Mm-hmm. So that's my reasoning for having 7-9 to either 9-7, 8-8, 9-7. That's my goal right there.
Fair enough. Don't forget, in 2017 we beat the Chiefs at home, and if it wasn't for Super Giorgio, we might have beat them Chargers too at home. So I don't think this team's too far off. But I'm gonna stick with my 8-8 prediction, and we got to start off with a strong start because, like you said, they got that long road stretch in the middle of the season. If the Raiders can come back after that bye week and start stringing together wins and get into a push headed into the postseason, might be able to steal a wild card berth.
But bro, what do you think they should win in that road game stretch? And I want to hear it because we've never talked about this amongst the 3 of us. And I kind of want to real quick. What do y'all think we should be doing in that road game stretch? In order to have a winning record, you have to have a winning record on the road. So we got 7 back-to-back. What's your prediction, Kenny and Che?
Well, I think your first game on that road trip is against the Vikings. I think that game can go either way. But the first road game out, I think John's going to have the team fired up. I think we can take those first 2. We're going to beat the Vikings. I think we could beat the Colts. But then it's on the road to London. And this is no commentary on Mac or any of that. I'm not going to get into any of that storyline. But until we win an international game, you have to prove to me otherwise that we can.
Yeah.
I think we drop one there to the Bears. Then again, it's on the road against the Packers at the end of October. I think we drop that game. And then it's on the road against the Texans, who showed me they're not ready for the NFL this year. I think we could beat the Texans. And then we get to come back home against the Lions. So, I could see us going, this possibility of, going, 3-3 on that road game stretch is what I'm hoping for. Sorry, that's 5 games.
3-3, but it's 7 games.
Yeah,
it's 7 games though.
3-2. I can see it's going 3-2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 3-2. 3-2 or possibly 2-3. Depends on how that Vikings game go. It's not 7 games. It's 7 weeks until we get back home. It's actually 5 games on the road with a bye week there.
Exactly. Yeah. Then you got a bye week. Yeah, I get that, but I'm just saying it really is 7 because you count London do you count London as a home game?
No, that's an away game. That's counted. We're counting that as the 5, though, bro.
I think Kane's on another show right now, bro. Kane's doing another podcast.
Okay, my bad. All right. I got you. Okay, you said 3-2. Okay, yeah. What about you, Che?
I say 3-2 also, man. I think we grab the game against the Vikes. I like our chances against the Colts.
Yeah,
luck's not there no more, bro. We're gonna beat the Colts.
Yeah.
The London game is the one where you just don't know what's gonna happen, dog. So I have to say, like what you said, Kenny. If we haven't seen it happen in the international games to this point, and then you're playing a Bears team and you got all that other shit going on with it, right? I think it's probably a loss until we're shown otherwise. The Packers. What date? Like what? Where are we in the calendar?
October 20th.
So it's gonna be a cold one, right?
It'd be fairly cold.
Yeah. So I have to say loss. And then I think we got the Texans, man.
Yeah.
I think we get. So I hate to copy you, but yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah, I think the Vikings are the swing game in that road stretch. That game can go either way for me. That defense is good, and you don't know. Kirk Cousins, he shows up and then he doesn't. So if he shows up that game and plays serviceable and that defense plays up to their potential, then we could very easily lose that game just being on the road. But I think, this road game is looming large, not just for our fans, but for the team. You heard John Gruden commented already when the schedule is released. So I really got a feeling he's going to have that team fired up for that Vikings game. That's really important to start that road stretch strong.
Now I want to go back and see what our initial predictions were for the schedule, because I might have contradicted what I said on the actual thing, but now I'm interested.
Yeah.
I think we lose in London. We never won in London. You got the big Khalil Mack playing against the Raiders. They traded him hype. They go to the media, and everybody else that's not a Raider fan that's going to hype this shit up and make it look like it's something that is not. And then, in the inside, deep down, Raider fans do want to beat the Bears with Khalil Mack. So that game right there is going to be a pivotal game. So, in my opinion, if we lose that game, and it's like we go back to after we haven't been shit since Marshawn Lynch danced on the field. So, you go back to after that and we go to Washington, we lose. So you got one of these type of situations where, you got the players like, oh, we got to beat Khalil Mack. This is a hype. Whether the players think about it or not, they are thinking about it. Whether you say they're not, they are. And, if we lose to this team in London, that can cause a catalyst to us to start losing. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Even though we don't have a lot of traces of Khalil Mack on the defense, it's just the media and the way shit just gonna get hyped up. You know what I'm saying? That could cause a spiral amongst the team and amongst the players. I don't know why, but shit like that does. Just like we don't know why after we lost to Washington, shit just stopped. Shit just happens, and never know why. Mm-hmm. So if we don't win against the Bears in London, I got a feeling that's going to start a fucking bad spiral. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion.
I think in the past that's true, man. I think the attitude of the team that was here last season, the personalities, the conflict, all that shit that we went through, you're absolutely right. Something like that happens, and it would set them in a spiral. But I don't think that's the attitude of this team anymore, bro. So I
hope not, bro.
I don't
hope not.
Yeah, I don't feel like that's something that we got to worry about in terms of like mentality, right? As far as like mentality goes, I don't think that's one of our worries. That doesn't mean that we can't go in a losing streak, but I just don't see that as far as from the mental aspect of the players. I don't see one game just fucking them all up. You know what I mean?
But I just see that's the game that John is looking to, like, is this my team? Are you my guys? Is this me?
Yeah, but how many of those guys
beat this motherfucker Khalil Mack? We need to go out. He wanted to get paid. We offered him $20 million.
No.
He don't want to stay here. He don't want to be a Raider.
Right.
Let's go out and beat this motherfucker. And then if they lose and Khalil Mack get 4 sacks and Derek Carr gets sacked 4 times and some fumbles and shit, I don't know, bro. I just don't know.
I don't see
and
it, bro.
It's in London.
You
it's not at home. It's not in Oakland where we gonna be there to be like rah 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 from the point that y'all step on the field. They're not that in London.
No, I know.
They're not Oakland.
Neither are the
London.
Bears.
Yeah, neither are the Bears.
I just don't know.
Neither are the Bears. Bears fans ain't gonna be showing out in London either, bro. Yeah. But look. You're attaching the sentiments of last year's team to this game.
Thank you.
Those guys are all gone, bro. They're not on this team anymore. We're talking about a handful of motherfuckers that have a connection to Khalil Mack. Everybody else is new. So I don't feel that they're going to be that. I don't feel like they're going to be that concerned about it, dog. They're going to treat it as a fucking game that they want to win because that's what they get paid to do.
My brother.
You know?
I hope so.
That's what I think.
I hope so.
Well, okay, man, I'm gonna let you get back to
but
grilling
you know
up
how we all know how this NFL shit works, though. So I hope that you correct, bro. Yeah. I hope you correct, and none of this shit happens and hurts John's status as a coach. Status as a coach. If we lose to Chicago in London.
No,
That's all I'm saying.
I don't think so, because even if we do lose, they're going to chalk it up to some international, London game bullshit, and John's going to be pissed about having to travel and all that. We're going to get right back to business. Good news is we got a bye week right after that, get the rest up, retool, and come back out and finish out the season, and correct any errors that happened in that first half. So, once again, I got Kane. I got Bobby Wasabi chilling in the driveway right now. I gotta let him inside the house, and I'm actually pressed for time.
Tell Bobby I said what's up.
I will.
Y'all finna chill. You got the air fried chicken wings going, man.
No, it's too hot for that. It's too hot for that. But I am up against it. I got Brandon Krisztal waiting on the other line. Got to get him on the air. Kane, man, thanks for checking in with us, and I'll see you at the tailgate, brother.
All right, bro. I'll see you on Monday, man.
All right, man.
Peace out.
Brother.
I'll see you. Holla at you, Che.
For sure, bro.
All right.
Peace.
All right, y'all. So that's it for the first half of the show. We are going to go to break, and we will be right back with some more Raiders talk. We'll see you guys on the other side. We out you.
Peace.
Back on the air. That was a great segment there with Kane. A little bit of everything for you guys.
Yeah, definitely, though.
Kane was doing 2 podcasts at once. That's our man, always working overtime. Those of you listening to the audio, we had a good chat with those on the YouTube.
Hell yeah.
The live stream. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, please do so. Going into the new season, excitement is abound, and we're seeing a lot of new faces here in the chat.
Especially if you want to get that taste of the tailgate. Because that's going to be on YouTube specifically. So you're only going to be able to get that tailgate feel from the live feed, bro.
Those of you guys that enjoyed the tailgate shows last year, some of you did, maybe some of you didn't. I understand it's a bit of a wild ride. It's not our usual focused podcast. We are having a good time. We do try to cover all the main points, but it's it's a different vibe. We are still doing that this year. It will not be published to your audio stream. You will not find it on Apple Podcasts. You will not find it on Spotify. You will not find it on the app. You will not find it on Stitcher. You will find it, however, on our YouTube account. The Tailgate Show is streaming live. It's the official pregame show of the Oakland Raiders. So if you want to tune in, just look for us on game day. The best time to catch us, just subscribe and hit that little bell, because as soon as we go live, you'll get the notification on your phone, and you can load us right up and not miss a minute of the action. So let's get back into it. We got about 15 minutes before you bring Brandon on the air. We got 3 phone calls here, sitting pretty. We're going to listen to those, and then we'll go to Denver, Colorado, man.
There you go.
This is coming from the 760.
What's up, Kenny?
Yes.
Che, Villagers.
Swap.
Finally, the day has come. Football season is about to begin. We're going to go against the Denver Broncos. Some say we have a suspect line just because we don't have Richie Incognito in there. I'm not too worried about it. I think we got that pretty much covered. We showed what it looked like without him. Not worried. I think we're going to surprise a lot of people. I think the offense is going to be potent. Our defense is going to be mediocre, but at least it's good for being mediocre with the Raiders. So I definitely see some improvement there. I'm going to have to admit I'm going to eat some crow for Brandon Marshall. I thought for sure that guy was going to make a better comeback. I was telling Che that guy was going to be a Raider for sure, but didn't come out very well for him, and I'll eat my crow now. Kudos to you guys. Let's get this Broncos game done. Hopefully we smash the shit out of those motherfuckers, man. I'm tired of losing that fucking shit-ass team. Let's go. Wapo out.
I mean, Wap, it's fair, man. I don't think you're the only person surprised for Brandon Marshall cut. We said there was no real surprises in the cuts. That's a bit of a stretch, maybe. Brandon Marshall's a name. He's a division rival. That's a guy you expect to stick, right? Veteran player. Unfortunately, it just did not work out that way for Brendan Marshall. But Wap, man, it's good to hear your voice again. It's been a while since we've heard you on the call line, so it's good to have you back. Very good to have you back. And we'll get you on very shortly. Again, hopefully we hear from you next week. Hopefully you can get out to a game this year, man. I know you're far away, but we'd love to see you in person, man. So let's go to this next call. This is the 936.
What's up, fellas? Watch Rather calling in, man. Man, we got to get Doss back, man. You know what I'm saying? Got to get Doss back. Got to get Rush, bruh. Maybe keep a couple of them linebackers, bruh. I'm liking Kabinda, man. They let Aiden go. They waived him. But I think everybody on the waiver list, man, they got 2 years experience or less. So we got a shot at them. You know what I mean? So we all good. We all good, man. They just picked up Kaiser, man. I'm liking that a lot, man.
Okay.
See what he can do. You know what I'm saying?
Watts likes
I'd rather
Kaiser.
take him over Glennon, man, and just let Peterman keep gaining some confidence. Glennon just a pocket passer, man. I think Chucky want to go a little bit more mobile at quarterback so he can run different type of plays, just in case. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody get hurt, he can step right in, and we don't have to change up the playbook or none of that, none of the plays, none of the play calls. You know, rollout plays, quarterback draws, keepers, quarterback option. You know what I'm saying? We selling it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm liking it. Hopefully he can make the squad. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we gonna keep 3 quarterbacks. I'd rather have Kaiser in the mix too. If we gonna, you know what I'm saying? So that's all I want to talk about, man. Getting ready for them Broncos. Yeah.
All
right, yeah.
All right.
Ran a little steam there. Maybe there was a phone connection. But, yeah, man. Anything you disagree with?
I mean, I was surprised. I guess the first person we've heard be a little excited about Kaiser, right? Mm-hmm. Most of us are just scratching our heads kind of going, why the fuck we bring this guy on? But, I mean, that's a different way of looking at it, Watts. I think you might be onto something when you say, like, Glennon, we could go ahead and let that guy go or whatever. I talked about it a little bit. Like, maybe you want a guy or you want backups that have different attributes than Derek Carr does necessarily, right? Because you don't expect them to play to his level anyway. So, yeah, maybe you're right. And maybe you see it as like kind of he was a high pick early on, right? So maybe he just needs to develop. Maybe he develops and he's actually develops into something way better than Glennon is, right? And will be. So yeah, I could dig it.
Can you dig it?
Can you dig it?
So we got one more call here. We still got a little bit of time to kill.
There you go.
Not getting much help over here. But all right, there we go. I'm trying to get Bobby's headphones plugged in, y'all. All right, so let's go to the 360 here. Last call, and I'm sorry I didn't have more to say there. I'm doing double duty over here.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do, though.
Kenny J. Kane, what's up, Pillagers? This is Pete. How we doing? Calling during the show right now. Sorry if I interrupted anything. My bad, but just wanted to call in. Happy you're back, and I'm happy you guys are safe and like you're not lit on fire. Chase Harris still looks intact, so that's great.
Yep.
Anywho, but what we're talking about right now, this Deshaun Kaiser thing, I agree with y'all. Something's going on. Don't know what it is, but it's something that it just begs for me to wonder. I just don't know where the trade's going to go from there, if it's a package. But at the same time, another Raider news, with Rodney Hudson, for anyone who judges that signing, you really just don't know football. I mean, you probably shouldn't do that. Like, speak on whatever. And if anything else this year, I'm really concerned about linebacker, guys. I'm not trying to sound like a Debbie Downer, but I don't know what direction we got going here with 4 linebackers and cutting Jason Kabinda at the same time. But we'll see. But maybe I think we're just that bad there. So it's outside of Mr. Perfect, I just don't know that we're going to be very good. And we got to find some balance there. But either way, our D-line looks ready. Everything looks ready, and looking forward to it. Me watching the game on Monday night with the Broncos fan. I'm going to shoot some Terry Funk promos on him the whole time. Anyways, y'all have a good one. Thanks for having me on. I'll be listening to you in an airplane. Peace.
That's what's up, brother. That's what's up.
Yeah, what's up? Good to hear from Pete, man. Really good to hear from Pete. Still killing a little bit of time here before we bring our boy Brandon on the air. We did put out a poll earlier in the week.
Yeah. Asking
Raider Nation what they thought the first play of the game was going to be.
Yeah.
We asked, is it going to be the deep ball to AB?
Yeah.
Which I'd love to see him just air it out first play of the game. Shay brought me back down to earth. He's like, nah, they're going to run the ball to Jacobs, dog. I was like, yeah, probably. So that was another option. And then the other one on there was other. Most of you voted for Josh Jacobs. Nice run out the I formation. Very likely.
I said a 25-yard run to start the game.
A 25-yard run to start the game.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe
Just
you
get
did
out the box.
Maybe you didn't quite bring me back down to earth with that one. It'll be a run to Jacobs. I was all fair enough. You're all 25-yard run. I'm like, I just logged out. I was like, okay. I'm not mad at it.
Hey,
okay, here we go. So we had a lot of responses on this one. So let's see what some of you guys said here while we wait. So 69% of you responded out of 574 votes. 69% of you said a run to Jacobs. 25% bomb to AB, and the other 6% was other. So let's hear about those. Mike Gorelli, formerly PFF Oakland Raiders, play action fake to Jacobs, car bullet to Waller down the seam.
I like it.
And it's going to be Waller versus Raekwon in that game. Not Raekwon the chef. Roquan, sorry, my bad. Roquan. Gruden going to hit Joey Flackass and eat his lunch. And they got a gif here of looks like Ted Bundy eating somebody's lunch.
That's Al Bundy, bro.
Oh yeah, Al
Not
Bundy.
Ted Bundy.
It was the blood. The blood threw me off, dog. Hey,
I stand by that. That was mine.
that was yours. Yeah, there you go, Bobby Wasabi. Vince Lopstain right here. Carr fumbles and the Donkeys run it back for a touchdown. It's the Raider way. Ouch! That hit me right in the gut.
Man.
Our own Sean Hildebrandt from the Blackout Podcast. Spider 2 wide banana in gold in the flat for 7 yards, pushed out of bounds. Very realistic.
Here you go.
That's a very realistic take. Our own Johnny, IR Johnny, fake handoff, fumble, recovered by Carr, toss to Jacobs, 75-yard touchdown.
I like it, Johnny.
That sounds like a Raider classic right there. Let's see here. Matty G, play action, quick strike to Renfro for 7 yards. Yeah, that's decent. I like that. Angriest said she'd like that too. A sack or tackle for loss. Hashtag Broncos country. That's a Bronco fan chiming in. What the hell are you doing on my feed, bro?
Yeah.
Stay out of here, dog.
Hey, speaking of, what's up with these fans trying to get you guys see the post that was out there, Ravens fan trying to get a signed jersey from Max Crosby?
Yeah,
did you guys see that? And it was like, please retweet, help me out, because Max told him 2K. Like he asked him, he hit him up in the DMs, was like, how many for a signed jersey? He's like, 2K. And then everybody started retweeting his shit. And then they realized, like, wait a minute. Wait, you're a Ravens fan? Wait, no. Oh, I take my retweet back. And they started taking the retweets back. Yeah.
That dude has since been reported to Twitter and is currently serving a timeout.
Oh man.
A lot of passes here, short passes to Waller. I like that. Hey man. And then our own JFB, a crisp and quick horizontal pass for 6 yards. A lot of realistic takes here. It's probably likely. A nice quick dump off to get the quarterback in rhythm. John Gruden offense.
Hey, man.
Very likely.
I think my shit's really realistic, too, man.
Your shit is realistic.
I'm just saying.
Real shit.
Who's to say that we don't just bust one out right off the bat?
Who's to say?
Who's to say?
I'd like to see us go deep. I think Carr and Brown have been itching to do it all offseason. I don't think it matters what the play call is. I think it's going to be an audible at the line of scrimmage. Derek Carr's like, I've been waiting to do this. We're doing this.
I don't like what I see. Let's change this shit.
Yeah. Yeah. But if the defense takes the field, Che, what's it going to look like?
Oh. 3 and out.
3 and out.
It's going to be a 3 and out.
Damn.
I said, yeah. The first defensive series is going to be a 3 and out. When and Flacco is going to be out there looking around like he don't know what the fuck happened. That's what I say.
Yeah, I think Joe Flacco has that look on his face permanently. I think that's just normal for Flacco. I just hope nobody runs and turns the lights off at halftime. You know what I mean?
Can somebody help me?
Shout out to Niner fans. Oh, man, we got a lot to cover here still. We still got our guests coming on, and we still got to break down this week 1 matchup. So let's give Brandon a call 5 minutes early. Let's surprise him. Let's wake the kids up. Let's do the whole thing. All right, we're going to take a short break. Let me get this guy on the air. See you guys real quick.
Yeah.
All right, well, back from the break. We're going to be doing a little bit something different this season. Occasionally, we'll be checking in with hosts and insiders from out-of-market teams, especially when it concerns our division rivals. We hope to brand this segment as Behind Enemy Lines. Myself, as a sports fan, I find myself following my team's rivals on Bleacher Report, etc., as a means to get their perspectives and stay up to date with the breakout players, contract issues, injury reports, and overall team news, and a little bit of Schadenfreude while we're at it. Sometimes it's good to go behind enemy lines. To beat the enemy, you have to think like the enemy. Joining us tonight is KOA and Broncos Radio Network Broncos insider, Brandon Krisztal. Brandon is also the host of the Broncos Daily Podcast, which launches this Tuesday, September 3rd. You can find him on Twitter at BK Denver Sports. Welcome to the show, Brandon. Am I saying your last name right, Krisztal?
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to applaud you because I don't know in the history of radio if anyone's ever done Behind Enemy Lines. So you guys are breaking new ground.
There you go.
That's pretty exciting. I mean, it's always a good segment. I think we do it on the Broncos pregame. I think I did it on a bunch of shows here. I think it's been done for a long time, but you can never get enough of trying to find out about your opponent, right? Plus, nothing is really original anymore. That's why I'm coming up with a podcast, right?
Because nobody's doing that, Brandon.
Format, right?
Yeah, no one's doing that. You got to go where nobody else is, and you got to stand there, and you got to shout real loud.
Yeah.
I'm getting in on the ground floor. I feel good about it. So I've heard not a lot of people have them, so I'm excited.
In the future, you guys might hear a different voice. His name is Gent. You've heard him on the show many, many times. We know that's not an original name, but Gent actually lives behind enemy lines out there in Kansas City Chiefs territory. He is a California native and an Oakland Raiders member. But for tonight, you still got to put up with myself and Che and our sweet voices. So, Brandon, welcome to the show, man. We're kind of no holds barred here on the Pillaging podcast. So, pardon our French if we get out of pocket. But as you know, this is a brand new format. We're not held to FCC regulations, and therefore
those are facts. Those are facts.
Yeah, we flex our freedom here. But let's get down to business, man. The Broncos and Raiders, they've made their final cuts. The Raiders cut down to 53 players, a little bit over that, but incognito and Lawson don't count against the final roster until they're done serving their suspensions. Incognito suspended. I know, big shocker. However, Denver made their cut down to 49 players today, unless there was a couple more added back, not today, but yesterday, unless there was a few more added back that I don't know about. But the last I checked, you guys were at 49. Was that surprising to you guys at all?
Well, no, I think technically it was at 52, and John said 3 guys are going on IR today. You have to distinguish. If you go on IR Saturday, you're done for the year. Like a couple guys that have been banged up early in camp. There was a tight end named Austin Fort who looked promising, undrafted out of Wyoming, tore his ACL against the Seahawks in the second preseason game. He's on season-ending IR. But Drew Lock, Theo Riddick, and Jake Butt all went on IR today, which opened up 3 roster spots. But with the 4 guys that they claimed off waivers, which is second most in the league, tied with a couple other teams, I think only behind Arizona, had 5 waiver claims, and none of the Broncos had any players claimed. Gives you an idea of where their depth was at least on the back end of their roster. And so they're back to 53, or they will be by tomorrow. They're bringing in a corner named Devontae Harris, who was with the Bengals and played at Illinois State, was a rookie last year with Cincinnati, and Corey Nelson, who was a special teams ace and a rotational substitute linebacker on the team here for the last 5 years. Last year, the Broncos wanted him back. He decided to go to Philly for the same money, and then got cut by the Eagles at the end of camp. Then was with the Falcons a little bit, just got cut by the Bucks. So that will get them back to 53. There's a lot of weird procedural stuff. I mean, if you're going to put guys on IR today, you can't fill those spots with waiver guys. So they had to cut 3 guys that made the team yesterday, which is it's kind of crappy because you think you made it, and really until you walk in the building week 1 and really on Wednesday even, so even if they're in there tomorrow, there's still moves being made. Really Wednesday you get paid for the full week, and you still may not be on the roster by the time the game rolls around, in this case Monday when the Broncos head to Oakland.
Facts.
Right.
Yeah. The AFC West has long been one of the most contentious divisions in the NFL. It seems as though these teams get up for each other no matter the discrepancy in talent or the win-loss record. But what's your early prediction for the Raiders and Broncos, where they finish at the end of the season? What's your early prediction there?
Well, I think that the Raiders are better. I just don't know how much better. I'm not sure if Gruden's personality style, everything is really connecting with his players. You know, obviously, I, like many football fans, especially those in the AFC West, are watching Hard Knocks, and I get that Gruden's not really saying much. But I know from talking to guys that have played for him in the past, Chris Sims has been vocal about it. Quarterbacks get worn out by John Gruden, and I don't know where he's at with Derek Carr, but you're only going to go as far as Derek Carr is going to take you. Even though I like a lot of the upgrades they made, I like the draft picks, I really like the safety. Jonathan Abrams, I think he's going to be a stud. And he's been entertaining on Hard Knocks, and you have Antonio Brown, who's still maybe the best receiver in football. I don't know if the Raiders are more than an 8-win team, and I'd be surprised if they were. I certainly wouldn't bet that in Vegas. I haven't checked the over-under, but were they right around where the Broncos were, right around 6 or 7 for total wins? Is that where Vegas has them?
Yeah, that's about right. Last I checked, yeah.
Yeah, and they have the Broncos at 7, and I actually had a ticket that my stepdad and I split when they were out in Vegas. My folks were out in Vegas, and I split a ticket with them for a couple bucks because I think the Broncos will go over 7. But I don't think they'd go over. I wouldn't bet over 8, and that doesn't mean they won't get to 9 or 10. And when you're right there, even with the Raiders, if they're predicted to 6 or 7, that could get them to 9 real easy, right? And we know how this league goes. A couple bounces your way, and a couple bad bounces for your opponents, and all of a sudden you're 9 and 7 instead of 7 and 9. So I think both of them are looking up at the Chargers and certainly the Chiefs right now. But I do know that the Broncos defense is going to be really good under Vic Fangio. The biggest question mark is in the middle with a little bit of lack of speed at linebacker. But other than that, they're really good up front. They're really good off the edge with Chubb and Von Miller, and then really good on the back end with some of the additions they made, Kareem Jackson and Bryce Callahan, plus Chris Harris Jr. And you guys have seen Justin Simmons for 3 years. I thought he'd be a Pro Bowler last year, and he was up and down, missed some tackles early. I remember in that Raiders game when they came to Denver early. I thought he'd be a Pro Bowler last year. If he's not a Pro Bowler this year, certainly towards the top of the league in interceptions in this defense, I'll be really, really surprised. Then it comes down to the offense, and we can break that down here. But to answer the question, I guess in a long roundabout way, I think both of them, if either of them are well over 8 wins, that would surprise me. But if they're under 6 wins, that would really surprise me too.
Okay.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's where I had Oakland at about 8 wins this year. I have Denver probably at about 7 wins, very similar. But like you said, the ball can go either way if the Raiders catch a little bit of luck. There is enough talent on this squad that if they still stay healthy, I could see them, inching their way to 9. But also, on the other hand, I wouldn't be shocked to see them fall to 7. Anything below that, I'm going to be disappointed. I want to see improvement this year.
Right.
Thoughts on Vic Fangio?
Well, can I ask you guys some Raiders questions? Or you've got them at 9 or 8 or 9 right there. Mm-hmm. And I did this when I was in Seattle a couple weeks ago, and Softy Mahler, who does the afternoon show, I went over to his pregame, which is right around the corner from where the Seahawks play before the Broncos and Seahawks squared off. And he's like, "What do you think of the Seahawks from where you are?" And I said, "Well, I obviously love Russell Wilson, and I thought the Broncos should trade for him, or if anybody was, if they were really gonna put him on the block last year before he signed that new big deal, I was like, the Broncos could give up everybody, including Von Miller. I think that's how good I think Russell Wilson is." And after that, they're like, "Okay, who else?" Softy said, "Who else do you like?" I said, "Well, I really like Bobby Wagner." He said, "Okay, who else?" I was like, "Well, that's about it." I think the Raiders have a few more guys, but let's pretend that it was a completely open draft. How many of the Raiders' top guys will take Antonio Brown off it? That's self-explanatory. How many of the rest of the guys do you have GMs beating down the door for? I think it's more than it's been in the past, but I don't know what that number is. I'm curious what you guys think that answer is, because I don't know how many of the Broncos have either. They probably only have 3 or 4 when you look at the top 100 players. Mm-hmm. Chris Harris wasn't even in there, so you got Chubb and Miller and Phillip Lindsay as a Pro Bowler as a rookie. So who are the guys that you think every GM in the league is banging down the door for if they were available?
To be fair, Brandon, I think it's a bit of a setup, that question. A lot of the prospective talent on this team is young. It's unproven, and that's fair. So we'll have to answer, really, to be fair, have to answer that at the end of the season. You have a guy like Josh Jacobs at his age and what he's projected to do could be a guy like that. You have a guy like Jonathan Abram who could end up being a guy like that. Yeah. Like you said, Antonio Brown, you're taking him off the board. But if you're going to leave Von Miller on your board, we got to leave AB there too. So I got to say,
for
AB,
sure. That goes without saying. I guess it's beyond the obvious ones, right? So if Denver has 2 that are obvious with Chubb and Miller, and if you want to throw Lindsay in because he was a Pro Bowler, that's obvious. So Antonio Brown is the most obvious. Khalil Mack would have certainly been obvious a year ago, and that's why you got 2 number 1s for him. Mm-hmm. But this year, it's too early to tell on. I mean, look, Jacobs could be the Pro Bowler and take Philip Lindsay's spot real easily, or somebody else's spot, right? Mm-hmm. So I certainly am mad that I've already had a couple fantasy drafts and haven't drafted him yet because he didn't fall where I was looking to draft him.
I'd put
but I think he's going to have a big year.
I'd put Rodney Hudson on that board too.
Yep. Absolutely. And if the Broncos had a center like Rodney Hudson, and they had one that was close in Matt Paradis, but they let him walk because Carolina wanted to pay him $11 million a year, or really $11 million this year, because it's really kind of all that's guaranteed. Maybe next year too, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Rodney Hudson for sure. There's a reason he's got all that money. All right, so Hudson, Trent Brown comes over, and it's funny because Juwan James is a big question mark here. He's certainly showed that he can play at times, but he's also showed that he's disinterested, the big right tackle that Miami was trying to get rid of every year, if you believe the people that are close to Adam Gase, and I do. But Trent Brown, at times, I think has looked great, and it helped when he had Tom Brady throwing the ball behind him. But I'd be a little nervous about Trent Brown because I think it's a lot of money for a right tackle that is going to get to go against the best pass rushers in the league a couple times in San Diego, the Chargers and the Broncos 4 times a year.
Yeah, and I think that's why you pay a lot of money for him. You have a lot of edge rushers at both sides of the defensive line,
especially in the AFC West.
Especially in the AFC West. The other thing too is it's just a numbers game. You the number one offensive line free agent every year becomes the top paid offensive line every year, regardless of where he plays. And then just to kind of double back to what we were talking about, a guy whose name doesn't get mentioned enough, but I think is known around the league and valued a lot, is LaMarcus Joyner. So I would put him on the bubble of that list as well.
Well, what's funny about LaMarcus Joyner is, and I don't have his stats in front of me, I don't know if he's gone to a Pro Bowl, but I remember watching him at Florida State and thinking, all right, this kid's the best defensive player in college football. And then, we saw him with the Rams. We saw him want to walk away from football on Hard Knocks a couple of years ago. But he's a hell of a football player, and I think that he'll certainly... I mean, the Raiders' back end has been so atrocious between injuries and just bad draft picks and personnel decisions and what you want to call it the last 5 years where their secondary's been really, really rough. I think that he'll help solidify that. Plus you got guys healthy again, right? So, I totally forgot about LaMarcus Joyner because he hadn't been featured very much on Hard Knocks. But no, I love LaMarcus Joyner as a player. And so I'm guessing because of Hard Knocks last time around, he probably elected not to be mic'd up very much. But with him and Abram back there, and is Conley healthy right now?
Yeah,
Conley's healthy. Yes.
Yeah. So right there, I mean, the back end is significantly better. But I don't know if GMs. I think LaMarcus Joyner makes other teams better, but I don't know if GMs around the league are banging the door down for him. I think they would take him, but I don't know if he's not Derwin James.
Fair enough.
Which is obvious. It's kind of obvious. I mean, Derwin James is Derwin James, and it's a bummer for the Chargers and for football fans that he's going to miss as much time. But it's and just being honest, it's good for the Chiefs, Broncos, and Raiders if they won't have to see him for at least part of the year, if not all of it.
Absolutely.
You goddamn right.
And another person I would throw on that list, and I don't think he gets really mentioned either, is Gabe Jackson, man. And he's injured right now. Yeah. But Gabe Jackson at guard, he's another guy.
He's got a couple Pro Bowls, right?
There's I would think there's a lot of coaches out there that would like to add Gabe Jackson to their offensive line. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, absolutely. But speaking of offensive line, and this is something that you just got to file back in the back of your head, especially because Garrett Bowles has not been good and certainly been very inconsistent and way too many holds. But the Broncos still grabbed him at 20 a couple of years ago. Then you see, obviously, the Raiders, it felt like maybe a reach to go get Colton Miller. Then you pay Trent Brown all that money. The Broncos do the same thing with Juwan James. But I talked to an offensive line coach when I was at the Combine, and he told me, like, look, they just don't build tackles anymore. So that's why Garrett Bowles is getting a million chances. That's why Juwan James and Trent Brown are getting the money they got. That's why you reach for Colton Miller. And you just find more guards and guys that can figure out how to play center or that have played guard center. There just aren't that many, Tyron Smiths walking off the bus at the Combine anymore. Right. And I don't really know why. Maybe it's because guys that size are playing basketball now and they're staying leaner and being stretch fours or whatever. It's 6'8" or whatever it is. But I do think Gabe Jackson is a heck of a player. I know the Broncos would love to have him on either side as a guard. He'd be an upgrade over Leary, and Dalton Reisner's a rookie, so it's a little too early to tell. But just kind of keep an eye on that. Oh, look, you got Colton Miller at least for a few more years, and certainly Trent Brown on that contract. But I'm saying around the league. I mean, tackles they're hard to come by. Look at what's going on with Miami. They stupidly trade maybe the best young tackle in football, and I get what they're trying to do. But now they have two guys battling for a spot, and neither of them, I wouldn't feel good if I was Fitzmagic or Josh Rosen if I've got guys battling heading into week 1 that weren't on the team last week.
Yeah. And what they get for Tunsil?
A bunch of ones, right? Didn't they get a one in 2020 and a one in 2021? Okay. So if you can turn, I think they have, similar to the Raiders, they have, I think, 4 first-round picks now in the next 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't track it that closely because I've been so focused on what the Broncos are doing, but I feel like that's what I saw. Plus some more picks, not just that. That sounds right.
What I'm thinking is that Miami doesn't feel that they have their quarterback anyways. Right, so they're kind of like, well, neither of these guys is going to be the quarterback going forward. Mm-hmm. So let's start trying to, bring in some number 1 picks and grab people. There's going to be a couple quarterbacks coming out in the next couple drafts, so maybe that's what their aim is. Trying to grab one of those.
I mean, whether it's Tua this year or Trevor Lawrence, it'll be really interesting to see what teams do to jockey to try to get Trevor Lawrence in 2 years, and that's obviously a long time from now. We got to worry about this season and certainly next season, plus maybe a work stoppage, but. I think that you'll see good teams do really silly stuff, and one of those good teams could be the Patriots, as crazy as that sounds. But let's ride the wave with Tom Brady right now. Not that any of us want to. I mean, shoot, they're still Super Bowl favorites, which is annoying. Speaking of quarterbacks, I guess I'll throw it back at you guys. I was pretty high on Derek Carr before the injury, and since then I haven't been. And I know that they took Bill Musgrave from him, and he's going through different OCs, and we don't know what Gruden thinks of him. Where do you guys come down on Derek Carr? I guess this is probably a better way to ask it. How many quarterbacks would you rather have ahead of Derek Carr? Because I can think of at least 10, and that's not even counting some of the young guys that I'd be 50-50 on.
Well, I'm gonna answer the first part of that question because I don't want to talk about other teams' quarterbacks and who I'd rather have in here. Derek Carr, I mean, all of the criticism, it's fair, it's founded, and he never looked the same after the ankle injury and after the back injury for certain. But I will say this: Derek Carr flourished in the second year of Musgrave's system. He was a gambler in the first year. I think as a rookie, he came out, wanted to show people he wasn't afraid. You saw that in the very first preseason game he ever played. He shot down Richard Sherman like 3 passes in a row, 3 touchdowns in that first half. People were like, this guy's a gamer. He took his licks that first season, came back the second year, looked really sharp in Musgrave's system in the second year. After that, it was a shit show. Mike Tice really trying to run things from, the offensive line position with Downey being his puppet. Now, second year in Gruden's system, I'm feeling really good about it. They installed the entire playbook week 1 of training camp. Everything was in. It gave Derek a lot of time to get up to speed, a lot of time to focus on audibles, and gave him a lot of power and responsibility. And I think that's a sign of confidence from John. I think John knows Derek can do it. So I'm waiting to see. I'm high on Derek. I like the kid. I like his attitude. I like how he feels about the Raiders. I like his relationship with Coach. From what I know, not from the clickbait, not from the headlines that I read, from what I know and what I actually see. It's all yet to be said this year. I'm ready to move on from Derek if he does not show significant improvement this year.
Yeah.
I'm not a Raider fan that's pining for Derek Carr, that's going to ride or die with Derek Carr. I'm not going to make all these excuses for Carr. He's run out of excuses. I think the moves you saw this offseason was an effort to take every excuse in the world away from Derek Carr. You have the offensive line up and down. The only unproven talent there is Colton Miller. Played with a broken ankle last year, so we get to see on Miller. Yeah. But all said and done, I mean, he's got everything there. You got Tyrell Williams. You got J.J. Nelson. You got Hunter Renfrow with the hands. There's a lot of speed. Darren Waller, the organization's really high on that kid. You get to see what he is. Josh Jacobs looks to be, formidable rusher. You got a rushing game now. Your offensive line is healthy once we get players back from suspension. Gabe Jackson's out, but good, or Cooper should step in and be serviceable in his absence. So no more excuses for Carr. Yeah. For me, Kenny's saying this is the last year for Derek Carr. It's put up or shut up this year. That's where I'm at on Carr. Where are you at, Che?
I'm the same way, man. I said it when people were like, let's get rid of him, get him out of here. I said you have to give him another shot to really flourish like he did under Musgrave. And this is the prove it year, right? So, okay, we went out, we got all these toys for you. We went out and we made sure that we had an offensive line that's going to be able to protect you, right? We went and paid the right tackle. We brought in Incognito. Be who he may, he's still Pro Bowl guard at, for a lot of his career. So you want to see him take the next step. And that means, you go out there, you produce. You get the fucking touchdowns, you throw the ball down the field, you make those big plays. And that's what everyone is expecting from Derek Carr this season, right? We want to see not necessarily a throwback to 2016, but an improvement on that, right? We want to see him be better than he was even that season.
So three check boxes I look out for quarterbacks.
Sorry?
Do they have the arm power? Derek Carr has that. Do they have the cerebral capacity? Derek Carr has that. But does he have the composure? That's the last question mark on the list for Derek Carr this year. I'm sorry. Let me get out of your way.
No. I mean, I think even if he plays just how he played in 2016, the fact that he played to that level and, was in an MVP conversation or certainly in a top 5 quarterback, top 10 quarterback conversation that year would be encouraging versus, say, Jimmy Garoppolo across the bay, who seems to have everything you want, obviously a little shell-shocked at times. It seems like coming off that injury, certainly the Broncos first D got after him a little bit. And, again, it's preseason, so let's pump the brakes a little because he looked pretty good against the Chiefs the following week. But he hasn't proven over an entire season, which Derek Carr has. So I would be more encouraged about Derek Carr than Jimmy G. And while y'all were talking, I just, opened the standings in my little Yahoo app and flipped back and forth. And there's 12 quarterbacks without question that I would take that are all established quarterbacks. Then there's 5 kids that were rookies that I would take ahead of Derek Carr. Then we can flip coins on Dak Prescott and Matt Stafford and Garoppolo. And then I didn't even count the 4 rookies this year. But if you told me I could pick Kyler Murray or Derek Carr, I would take Kyler Murray right now. I don't know about Daniel Jones, certainly not Drew Lock or Dwayne Haskins, but 12 established guys that I would certainly have over Drew Lock, as well as the 5 rookies from last year, not counting Lamar Jackson. I think I had another young guy in there. I don't think I would take Lamar Jackson over RG3 right now, even though that's what they're doing. I might take Trace McSorley. I'm very down on Lamar Jackson at this point. So, all things being fair, I have him right in the middle of the pack. I would take him ahead of Joe Flacco, although Flacco's looked okay here in Denver. So in my mind, he's a 15 to 17-ish kind of quarterback. Maybe his ceiling's 10 to 12 right now. But he was certainly better than that in 2016. And so if he and Gruden can click, plus he has Antonio Brown. And that will, I think, cover up a lot of things and all the other pieces you guys mentioned. It'll be interesting to see, because certainly when it comes to this division, because the Chiefs are in it, because Mahomes is so damn good, and they added, the Hardman kid, plus they still have Hill, at least we think for a while, and Kelsey, and Sammy Watkins. We'll see about the running backs. Plus you had, obviously, LaShawn McCoy today. He gets reunited with Andy Reid. They're going to be up there, and we know about the Chargers. Even without Derwin James and Melvin Gordon, still Phillip Rivers, they hang around every single year, and they're right in the playoff mix. So it's understandable why the Broncos and Raiders are getting overlooked. Yeah. But this does feel like one of the more, if not the most competitive division in football, and we'll see if the Chiefs fall back to the pack a little bit. And we know that the Chargers find ways to lose games at times, especially because every game they play is a road game for them, even, when they're in whatever the name of that soccer stadium is now. So it's going to be a fun year. And I think coming out of the box early matters because it's going to come down to the wire for those last playoff spots. I guess I'm not saying anything, that you guys don't know, but week 1 certainly isn't make or break, but I do think it gets the ball rolling, whether it, in one direction or the other. So if the Raiders obviously hold serve at home, then that's probably going to surprise some people. Not that them winning the game. It's like, okay, this Raiders team, Gruden, this is for real. And if the Broncos go in there and steal the win, then I think people are going to say, oh, maybe we overlooked the Broncos a little bit. I guess it depends on how the game shakes out, too. The Raiders obviously kicked the Broncos' teeth in on Christmas Eve in a game that didn't matter for either team. So do the Broncos use that as any kind of motivation? And I'll be curious to see what kind of coach Vic Fangio is. I know what kind of defensive coach he is. He keeps talking about how he just can't see as much from the sideline. So we'll see if that impacts him. And then when it comes to knowing how to challenge and when to call timeout and whether to go for it on 4th and 1, 4th and 2, 4th and 3, and all of that stuff. Take long field goals, right, when you've got a big leg kicker like they do, and that'll apply more at home than on the road. Do you try kicks on the other side of the 50-yard line? Vance Joseph did, and it burned him last year against the Texans because he left too much time on the clock. So all that remains to be seen, but I'm glad that we're finally talking about games that count.
Yeah, right. Definitely talking about games. Here's my hot take on the Chargers. Bosa won't finish the season, and they will be down. They will be down 2 offensive linemen before the year's over.
Well, they're already down one, right?
That's
With
it.
Okung.
That's it. That's the Chargers for you in a nutshell. Let's talk about Denver a little bit more. You already answered my question. I was going to push it back to you. Would you take Flacco or Carr? You said Carr. Let's talk about that quarterback position. When I checked this morning, you guys had one QB on the roster. I heard you did sign a third stringer to back up your boy Flacco with Locke headed to the IR. What's the backup position right now in Denver? What is that looking like?
Well, so Kevin Hogan was here at the end of last season, and then through the spring and summer, and then they obviously go and get Drew Lock right after 1 week of OTAs or whatever. So, and they weren't even on the field at that point. I think I had one mini camp or whatever. But then you go grab Drew Lock in the second round. A lot of people had him as a first rounder. We find out he was John Elway's favorite QB, and they're able to use the draft capital they have to go get him. And then you're watching in the spring. They also go grab Brett Rippon, too, draft weekend, and they pay him a full practice squad salary as a signing bonus, $136,000, which is a lot when most guys get like $15,000. That's the most they get. I think the only person that got more was the big kid Tyree Jackson with the Bills, coming from the University of Buffalo. So we're watching practice, and day after day, we're like, why the hell is Kevin Hogan in there? He's just wasting everyone's time, especially when we got into this fall's camp, which obviously I said fall, they started July 17th. And it's like, just give Drew Lock and Brett Rippon all the reps. We know what Kevin Hogan is. We get it. So it was no surprise that Lock finally jumped ahead of him. Unfortunately, he hits his thumb on the ground on Monday Night Football against the Niners, and while he didn't have to have surgery, the sprain's so bad that he's in a hard cast. And we find out yesterday he's going on IR after we had already found out that Kevin Hogan wasn't going to be the guy. We saw Brian Hoyer get cut, and that made a lot of sense because Hoyer had been in this offense with Kyle Shanahan in Cleveland and then with Kyle Shanahan for 7 weeks in San Francisco before they traded for Garoppolo. And Rich Scangarello, the offensive coordinator, thinks highly of Hoyer. So it's like, okay, they're going to go get Hoyer. That's an upgrade from Hogan as a backup early in the year because Locke won't be ready at the very least until week 8 to be the backup. And then they obviously let Rippon go too, hoping to get him on the practice squad. So you're thinking, okay, Hoyer makes sense, or maybe one of those Niners QBs is going to shake free, or they've got a trade worked out to go get Mullins or Beathard, who Scangarello knows really well. And lo and behold, we find out today they put in a claim on Brandon Allen, the fourth-year player out of Arkansas, who had a good game against the Broncos a couple weeks ago. He was 12-19 in the Coliseum down in L.A. for 162 yards, no scores, but no picks. And it's one of those things where I'll find out a little more in the coming days. Is he going to be here for 8 weeks until Locke is ready to go, / the whole year? Or is he here for a week, and then next week they'll sign Hoyer and not have to guarantee him his $1 million? Now, Hoyer may not be up for that, but Hoyer may look around and no one wants his services in week 1. So then in week 2, if the Broncos offer him whether it's $1 million or $2 million, but know that they can cut him at any time, then maybe that's the plan. And what's interesting, too, the Broncos have a couple guys that are banged up. They're keeping on the active roster. Like I mentioned, they're sending Riddick and Butt. Butt we knew about. He had his knee cleaned up last week, and he's coming off his third ACL. But Riddick we thought was only I'm trying to think when he got hurt. He got hurt in that Seattle game. So like a 6 to 8-ish week injury. Well, it's obviously closer to 8. That's why they're putting him on the IR. Mm-hmm. But Janovich, a fullback. Todd Davis may not be able to go, the middle linebacker. And so they're going to go in without a full complement of 53 guys into week 1. So I think they're just going to cross their fingers that more guys don't go down against the Raiders, because if not, it'll put them in a tough spot in terms of holding on to roster spots. Mm-hmm. But let's pretend everyone's healthy, right, which is almost impossible. But if everybody's healthy and the fullback gets healthier going into week 2, then maybe they cut the tight end that they were just awarded, the Beck kid who's a fullback tight end, and they add a different player, a different QB or something. But right now, if Joe Flacco goes down and Brandon Allen comes in, then I'm feeling really good about if I'm a Raiders fan or somebody that bets the Raiders on Monday night next week, because Brandon Allen has been in Sean McVay's system, which is rooted in the Shanahan system. Obviously, Sean was with Mike and Kyle in Washington for a bunch of years, but talking to some of the Broncos offensive coaches about how similar their offense is to Kyle's, which is almost identical, 85 to 90%. Sean has gone and evolved it and tweaked it and made it his own. So again, it's the same, building blocks, and I guess John Gruden to the similar degree, same stuff. And Sean was with John, obviously, his first stop, but it's different. So Brandon Allen's going to be on the crash course. I imagine that Brandon Allen was given an iPad tonight and probably spent this afternoon, spent a bunch of time with the quarterback's coach and maybe even with other teammates, and he will be living at the Broncos facility, even though they have off days, Tuesday and Thursday this week, I imagine Brandon Allen will basically just set up shop there to hit that crash course. So if he does have to go in, it's not an embarrassment. But if he does have to go in, and I'm you guys and all the rest of Raider Nation, I'd be feeling really good about the result, unless it's at the very end of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I didn't realize right now it's a pick'em in Vegas, man. So. Yeah, you bet the Raiders, and you knock Joe Flacco out of the game, and then you're feeling really good.
Looking at you, Vontaze Barfik. Looking at you, dog.
Yeah, if anybody can do it, he's the guy, right? So, he'll take anybody out.
Two parts to this, kind of, really a one question, but two parts to it. One of our listeners wants to remind you that Derek Carr threw for 4,000-plus yards to wide receivers that are no longer on active rosters in the NFL. That said, Joe Flacco, he's got some, besides Sanders, who are the weapons that Flacco has around him that are going to keep defenses honest?
Well, I think Cortland Sutton's where you start, and he's an interesting fantasy pick because he looked so good last year as a rookie in 50-50 balls. You're like, just throw him jump balls. He looks like Calvin Johnson. Obviously not a mirror image, but at 6'4", 238 pounds or whatever, you're like, okay, this kid can go up and go get footballs. He was a basketball player at SMU for a little bit for Larry Brown. And so he's where you start. He's been working on developing into a better route runner and running the full route tree, but he's not there yet. And then inside of them, there's a kid named Deshaun Hamilton who's a great route runner, who's Penn State's all-time leading receiver in every category, but not a game breaker. And then you have to look at the first-round pick. I was going to say both tight ends. Jeff Hireman, though, just doesn't catch the ball a lot. Maybe he will now. But Noah Fant was taken in the first round and is the faster of the two Iowa tight ends, maybe not the better. Yeah. A lot of people like T.J. Hawkinson, but if Fant can use that 4.5 speed and stretch the middle of the defense, that makes it way easier for Emmanuel Sanders and for Cortland Sutton and Hamilton and the backside of the backfield. Mm-hmm. Phillip Lindsay, if you're talking about making Flacco's life easier, Phillip Lindsay went to the Pro Bowl as a rookie, and Royce Freeman was starting ahead of Phillip. He's Oregon's all-time leading rusher, taken in the third round, and was running really well before an ankle injury hurt him, right around week 5 or 6, and that allowed Lindsay to really excel. So Flacco's got pieces around him. It's a question of, can the O-line protect him enough? I'm not worried about Flacco. I get that he's been hurt a little bit lately, but it's not about keeping him from getting hurt. It's about keeping him from getting hit. He doesn't move great. He maybe moves a little better than we think, but he doesn't move great. And this offense obviously calls for some boot action and play action stuff on the edge. When he was in this offense in 2014 under Gary Kubiak, or Kub's version of it at that time, it was the best year he'd ever had statistically. But that best year was 27 touchdowns. It wasn't his best yardage year. It was maybe his second best yardage year, or third, but it was 39-80 or something like that. So 27 touchdowns is not making Patrick Mahomes look over his shoulder that somebody's going to come for him as the top TD guy in the West. But let's pretend that he has his best year this year, and it's 30, 31, 32. I'd be feeling really good because the way this offense is set up, similar to the way the Raiders' offense is, you're going to run and then run play action to set up the pass, right? And it all is predicated on that. So
I mean, that's standard NFL protocol. I wouldn't necessarily draw any parallels between the Broncos and the Raiders' offense at this point. I would not at all. Not. I would not at all. I think that's standard NFL protocol. You run and set up the pass and use the play action as a swing.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying because John obviously was with Shanahan and Bill Walsh at the same time, or
yeah,
right, right. Wasn't he in San Francisco before he was in Philly?
Yeah, he was. John's got his own coaching tree now underneath them. And I think that's my biggest criticism, or my biggest concern right now is, you got Joe Flacco there. Sanders, definitely a weapon. Sutton's given us fits in the past. I don't think it's going to be quite like last year. Worley, not my number one pick there at the number 2 spot, but he's definitely got help in the defensive backfield this year. So I don't see that as being as big of a threat. Honestly, Lindsay out of the backfield is my concern. With Flacco and the offensive line where it is right now, I think it's going to be a lot of short routes. I think it's going to be a lot of underneath. And until I see this retooled Raiders offense on the field, the screen has always been an issue for this team. Historically, doesn't matter the regime, doesn't matter the coordinator, doesn't matter the personnel. We can't cover the screen. We can't cover the passes in the flat. That's my biggest concern. Lindsay, he's an elusive guy. I think, to be honest, that's the dude flying under the radar for this game. But what are the key matchups for you in this game, going into this game? Obviously, the Broncos' defensive line versus the Raiders' offensive line, and I would say vice versa, with the Raiders' defensive line being a big question mark, but also the Denver's offensive line being an equal question mark. But I guess the matchup I really want to focus on is Denver secondary versus the Raiders wide receivers. I think both of those, for both teams, retooled personnel groups, where does the levee break in that matchup?
Well, what's interesting is part of it's how healthy is AB and how dialed in are he and Derek Carr, because obviously you don't get to watch a lot of Raiders practice, right? They closed more than they probably should by league rules and figure just no one's paying attention. And then we know about AB missing plenty of time, whether it be for a helmet issue or whatever, his feet bothering him from bad cryo chamber or whatever it is. So that, I think, is a question mark, because, like, what AB are you going to get? Are you going to get top-notch, Pro Bowl, All-Pro, best receiver the last 6 years, or are you going to get 85% of that, which is still better than probably 95% of the pass catchers in the NFL. So the Broncos will put Chris Harris on him. They'll put Callahan on him some. They'll certainly bracket him a bunch. Chris Harris has shown at times to struggle against AB. He and Talib both had a rough day, and Harris was on him a bunch. In Pittsburgh in 2015, when I think AB had 18 catches and a couple scores and probably like 180 yards, somewhere in that range. I'd have to go look it up. But then last year, he came in with Big Ben on a Sunday night game and didn't really do much, and had rookie Isaac Yiadom talking trash, which seemed unwarranted and silly, and I wonder if AB will remember that. So I think that's where it starts, is how do you cover AB? I'm not freaking out about Tyrell Williams, because Tyrell Williams is not really. I mean, that's some nice catches against the Broncos for sure. When Phillip Rivers has put it on him, deep down the field, and then Abrams is going to be interesting, because just what level does he get to, right? And the Broncos' lack of speed at linebacker. I thought they might sign Brandon Marshall, and I wanted to ask you about that. I understand why they're not. Brandon's one of my all-time favorite guys, and I was really bummed that he got cut, not only in Denver, where I knew it was coming, but in Oakland, because I wanted to see him go to Vegas, his hometown team. I thought he could be one of the faces of the franchise in Vegas, so I didn't pay enough attention to see why they ended up releasing him. He was one of the early surprise cuts.
Brandon never bounced back from that knee injury. His speed is slow.
Yeah.
You can make a case for him as a vet trying to install the defense, but when you have a guy like Burfict there, that's already a graduate of Paul Guenther's scheme, you have that dude in the middle already. So, Brandon Marshall was an early out. It's still a head scratcher because the Raiders are only fielding 4 linebackers, but in this Guenther scheme, I expect to see a lot of 3 safeties on the field, a lot of big nickel as we go into the season. So that's kind of the answer to that question there. But, I mean, some of us are still confused. I kind of called the Marshall cut early on. It was the same thing with Derek Johnson last year. He's a name.
Yeah.
He's from a division rival. People recognize it. He knows who he is. He's been in the Pro Bowl. But at this stage in his career, just didn't have what it takes to stay on the field and be speedy enough to cover.
Yeah, although Derek Johnson was 36 when he got there. Brandon
fair.
30.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
But his knee's still not right. And I know that Denver is was high on his list, and doesn't mean that it won't be in week 2 or week 3 if some of these linebackers go down. They've got a lot of young linebackers that they like, too, though. The kid that they had on the roster yesterday they cut, named Josh Watson, he'll be on the practice squad. They'll look to bring him back up as soon as they need to. And so maybe Brandon never finds his way back to Denver. His mom still lives here. He still has a house here. So, he'll be 30 in a week on September 10th, so he's not even 30. So I don't think his career's done unless his knee just fails him, and we've certainly seen that across the board. As far as other matchups, I guess it'll be interesting to see just the way this Broncos offense tries to attack the Raiders in general, not just at the point of attack where, like you said, it could be a wash up front, but down the field. Does Joe Flacco let it rip? Does Emmanuel Sanders, which it's crazy to see the way Emmanuel Sanders is running at 32 years old, coming off an Achilles tear from December. It's pretty mind-blowing, and he looked quick. Those couple plays that everybody saw on TV against the Niners on Monday Night Football, and he looked quick every day in practice. So he looks like he's 32 going on 22, and it's interesting because we thought this would definitely be the last year of Emmanuel Sanders, but if he stays healthy and puts up respectable to good to even great numbers, the Broncos might have to look at giving him another 2-year deal for real money, and that'll certainly jack with their salary cap some, but they may not have a choice, especially if those young guys like Sutton and Hamilton and Fant don't take a big step forward. What's interesting about Fant, too, though, by the way, is this isn't picking on him, but one of the guys here in town, Andrew Mason, who literally quit DenverBroncos.com today to go do some other stuff here in town, but he looked this up, so I'll give him credit. He looked up all the first-round tight ends, I think since 1980, maybe, and on average, the first-round tight ends, and I get that the game has evolved, averaged 33 catches, 330-ish yards, and 3 touchdowns, including Tony Gonzalez. He went back, and Tony Gonzalez had 34 catches, like 360 yards, and 3 touchdowns as a rookie with the Chiefs. So people that are excited about Fant, when they drafted him, I think it tempered a little because he's been banged up, and he hasn't necessarily looked like a pro all the way around early on, but then turns out he has the flu in camp because Emmanuel Sanders is yelling at him on day one, Sutton's yelling at him on day three to be a pro and to finish and all this stuff. A lot of people are like, oh, he'll get 5 or 6 touchdowns. Let's pump the brakes. If the best tight end of all time, or certainly in the short list, and Tony Gonzalez only had 3 touchdowns as a rookie, let's not assume that he's going to have double-digit touchdowns just because he was taken in the first round and runs 4.5. So it'll be interesting to see. But if Fant can figure it out and stretch the middle of the field, then I think that makes Joe Flacco's life a lot easier, at least for the 2 seconds he has to throw it until he gets hit.
Brandon, man, it's been informative. You can definitely talk. I know that altitude's training. You haven't taken a breath in 45 minutes, dog. So I want to give you.
Well, pay me to talk, and you guys wanted me to talk, so I figured I'd give it a shot.
You're doing great, bro. You're doing
4 hours sleep. You'll have a 1-year-old, and it's just one of those, and our air conditioning is busted. So I'm a little delirious at this point.
I hear you.
I think that informed my performance.
It's hot in here too. You're doing great, man. It's gonna be interesting to check back in with you. Hopefully, at the end of this year, when we see the Broncos in Denver, maybe we can circle back and see how both teams are doing and check in on that, and maybe have a better look at how this season's gonna wash out. Maybe
we will, right? We'll definitely have a better look at it. For sure, but then
that's obvious, right? I agree. By the end of the year, we'll definitely know how the season's gone. That's a fair point.
Yeah. But maybe talk a little draft or see what's next for both of these teams.
Absolutely, guys. It'd be my pleasure. So just holler at me again down the road, and good luck next week. It's my first trip to the black hole, so I don't know how excited I am one way or the other. But is the team bus going to get egged? I'm hoping for it, just so I can catch it on video. I know there'll be plenty of number 1 salutes coming our way when we're rolling on the team bus. So I am looking forward to that, and maybe I'll find a rat under my seat in the press box.
Maybe, possibly. Yeah. It might be me.
Just treat him nice. If
you have time, man, stop by the booth when you get to the game. We'll take care of you. Maybe get you a pregame beer.
Oh, y'all going to be there?
Yeah, you can do that. We broadcast live every home game, so we'll be
awesome. Yeah, I'll come find you guys and come say hi.
Yeah, text me. All right, Brandon, good talking to you. Get some rest, bro.
Yeah.
All right, no, I appreciate it. Thanks, Kenny. Thanks, Jay. Y'all have a great night.
You too, man.
Brother.
Take care, dude. We'll learn a lot about Penn State. Learned a lot about Texas A&M. No, Brandon was good. A lot of information, man. I wasn't expecting that. It was like a flamethrower of data coming out of my face right there.
Yeah. That was a lot.
Hopefully he doesn't take that as shade.
I
mean that with respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows what he's talking about, right?
Yeah.
He knows what he's talking about. He's talking about his Broncos. He knows about his team.
You see how I lured him into the teeth of Raider Nation at the end there?
Yeah.
That'll be a fun appearance. We'll let Sean get after him. And I can't wait to hear Sean and Brandon go at it at the tailgate podcast.
That's going to be fun, man. All the pillagers that are going to be out there,
woo!
I'm sure they're just licking their chops right now. Can't wait to set this guy straight up.
I'm going to start buying asada tomorrow, man.
The chat right now is on fire, man.
Chat's bonkers. Hey, man, say what you guys want, but that was a lot of information to download from our division rival, so it's interesting. It's interesting to hear what other people think about our team.
Yeah.
He wasn't quite on that clickbait tip, but he was somewhere between where we are and that perspective.
No, but I say this, man. What's to be expected, right? Do we think this guy was going to come on the show and be like, oh, man, the Raiders, they really, I'm really worried about them. They look really great. I didn't expect to hear that either, right?
Nah.
And, I mean, to his points about Derek Carr, I mean, obviously we have a difference of opinion, but I wouldn't expect anybody that's not a Raider fan who isn't, like, paying attention to our team, like, every single day to have a different outlook on Carr, right? I would expect every opposing team fan and reporter to say the same shit that he came on here and said. So that's all right. When Carr goes out there and whoops that ass, then we'll see what you guys got to say.
Look, the hate and criticism on Carr, it's warranted. The talk about trading him and John not being in love with him, that's exaggerated. We'll see what happens at the end of this year, what happens with Derek Carr. This is the last stop for Carr if he doesn't do well. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, bruh. So we try to get into the game breakdown a little bit, but let's talk about it, you and I. Maybe we can get Bobby in on this action too.
Hell yeah.
Give me your keys to the game, Che.
Well, I think, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier or if it was off air, but I think the key is the run game. Okay, we already know what that Denver defense is going to bring. They're going to bring a pass rush in Chubb and Von Miller, right? So we got to do what has been successful in the past against the Broncos, which is running the ball down their throats, right? Putting that man boob all up on them, bruh. Okay? All that man boob all up on them.
All that taco meat.
Driving those motherfuckers backwards and making them not want to be on the field with us.
Yeah.
That's what I want our offense. I want our offensive line to dominate. Okay? Obviously, I know we're going to be missing some people, some key people. So we're hoping that the backups are going to be able to do what Gabe Jackson and Incognito would do, right? But we already talked about Hudson. You know Hudson's the leader, dog, and the team goes as he goes. The offensive line is going to go as he goes, right? So I expect that to be the biggest key. If our running game is getting off, I think we got that game. It's a lock. If that running game sputters, then we might have an issue, right?
On the defensive side of the ball.
On the defensive side of the ball, I think you keyed on it, Lindsey. I have to agree because he's a two skill back, right? He's a dual threat, right? He's not going to just run the ball, and he's not going to necessarily just run the ball up the middle, right?
Yeah,
he's a scatter back. He's a guy that's going to get on the outside. He's going to fucking release for for some passes over the middle. He's going to get the screens. And he's got a decent speed where maybe they line him out. Maybe they line him up outside. I don't know. Maybe he gets they get a matchup that they like against one of the linebackers that we don't have many of, and then, try to get us that way. So I think that's the key too, is shut down Lindsey. I'm not worried about Cortland Sutton. No. I know he's got to be high on him because they drafted him last season. And they got rid of Demaryius Thomas, who was their long-standing Pro Bowler, with the expectation that this guy was going to become something. But I took that motherfucker in my fantasy.
Oh shit!
I added him onto my squad because I thought the same thing. Oh, this guy's gonna he's gonna show out now because they got rid of Demaryius Thomas, and that motherfucker never appeared. At least not in yardage or touchdowns. So. Yeah, I'm not worried about that guy.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about him. Like you said, Emmanuel Sanders is more of a threat than he is, and he's got a knee that's questionable, right? And he seems to get injured often. So, maybe that's the key to getting him out of that.
Yeah.
Abram, you hear me? Jonathan Abram.
Let me give
paging Jonathan Abram.
And he was saying Abrams too. That was bothering me. But shout out to Brandon, man. He's doing this thing. He's on the radio out there, and he definitely got knowledge. He could definitely talk. My keys to the game on the offense. You went with the taco meat right, salt and pepper left. If you really look at our offense, that's what it looks like. I'm salt and pepper, and Chase got the taco meat. If we're drawing lines. I think for me, it's a big dose of Darren Waller. Obviously, everyone wants to see AB and Tyrell get involved in the game.
I like that.
I'm concerned about the time Carr's going to have to throw. I think John's going to be very keyed on protecting the merchandise, as he says. For me, it's Darren Waller. Darren Waller versus Roquan. Roquan cannot cover him the entire game. And I think Josh Jacobs out of the backfield. I think seeing a little bit of that throwback John Gruden offense and getting balls to the backs out of the backfield. I think that's going to be key too. Use the pass rush against them, so to speak. So that combined with the rush, that'll open things up later in the game, hopefully. On defense, Paul Gunther. Blitz. Do not let Joe Flacco get comfortable. I don't think this offensive line can deal with everything that we throw at him. We cannot rest on a four-man pass rush in this game at all. Their defense is going to be keeping this score tight, and our defense has to do the same. That's what I'm looking for this game. What does our defense look like week one, completely retooled, lots of brand new faces, get the safeties out there, get Abram up in their face early and often. I want to see physicality from this team. I want to see Brandon Allen take the field. God damn it. I don't like to see players get hurt, but when I'm playing my division rival, I like to see players get hurt. All right, I don't have to be politically correct. All right.
I was gonna suggest something to our boy when he was talking about Allen, and he was like, maybe he could catch up. Maybe hopefully, he could plug in that book. He's spending a lot of nights. Maybe he needs to be the first candidate for the singularity, bro. Then you could just zap the playbook into the motherfucker's brain, bro, and then you're good.
Interesting. I mean, he could cram all he wants, but being on the field and developing timing with your personnel, that's a whole different story. So, Brandon Allen, I don't know who this kid is, to be quite honest with you. And Joe Flacco, we know who he is, but
Brandon Allen doesn't know who he is.
Nah, I want to see safeties in the backfield. That's what I want to see in this game. I see a heavy dose of the blitzes from our secondary.
I
want to see that. I want to see gunners in there. I want to see missiles in there on defense. That's really my key to the game there on defense. But yeah, on offense, keep it conservative, but move the chains. Don't look for the big bailout early. Move the chains and buy some insurance. Buy a car some respect at the line. Make that defense back off because they're thinking the same thing that we are. Let's pin our ears back. Let's get to them. They're down to offensive linemen. Yeah. We think Carr shell shock still. Let's expose him for what he is. Use that against him. Get right behind the pass rush.
Absolutely.
That's what I say. So we did callers. We did our game breakdown. Bobby, anything you want to add to that supple breakdown? Get in here, bro.
All right. Well, my thing is, I've been preaching it long time, is that offensive line. Everyone always busting DC's balls over here, saying that, it's his year to ball out, to show up, and this and that. It's like, dude, he has not had that solid line. This is the fucking year of that line. Not only that, what's up with our fucking coach? No one ever fucking looks at the offensive coach and says, hey, look, why isn't Cat doing his job over here? Why isn't Cable doing his shit over here? That's my biggest thing, dude. Yeah, he's going to be around for quite some time, so let's make sure that he's not teaching bad habits, that he's not over here trying to get this line to basically just be okay and be mediocre. That's what we have to avoid. The first week is going to be fucking hard as hell. I definitely enjoyed the second preseason game because I was watching – who was it? Fucking Incognito. I was watching all the cats working, dude. And it was awesome what they were doing. It was the best protection I had seen in quite some time. That's not going to be the first week. The first week is all we're going to have is backups. But like Chess said, we got our center right there. We got Hudson. We got our fucking veteran holding down the line. He's going to be basically that presence, and he's going to be that captain, man, to show the line what's up. Defense, same thing, man. I love that we got a badass secondary, that we got great fucking young cats out there, but that's our backup. We shouldn't be relying on our backups, man. Right. We have the line. If you're harassing a quarterback, if you're all up in there, then you don't have time to look down the field, to look at to look at the tight end, to look at the wide receivers. You need harassers, and that's what PJ Hall, dude, you fucking skirted by it this time, man. So now you got to show up, dude. You got to show them why you made that roster, dude. You got to make sure why it was that you got that cut right there, dude, or that you didn't get cut. And my boy Mo Hurts, man. Oh, hell yeah, Mo Hurts. Sorry, I do that every time. It's Mo Hurts to me because he's always putting the hurt into the mother scooters. So, yeah, that's my main deal right there, dude. PJ Hall is definitely going to start showing a hell of a lot of improvement because he knows that he dodged that bullet right there. And Mo Hurts, well, shit, second year, he's only getting fresher. He's only getting finer, man.
There you go. I like it, dog.
I like it a lot. Let me pull back, too, because, I was talking about AB and everybody wants to say AB will be involved. Remember, AB is not only a deep threat, he is a catch-and-run wide receiver. So there's still ways to get AB the ball early in the play with a three-step. So I think that you will see some AB. I think everyone's going to eat in this game. I think Carr can spread it around a little bit. Keep Denver on their toes, man. Great takes by Bobby there, man. I think the offensive line is going to be key. And the good thing is, like you said, we got some backups in there, but it's Good and Cooper. These guys have experience. We're not throwing like David Sharp to the Wolves or asking Brandon Parker to do things he can. I know those are tackles, but, I like it. I like it a lot. I think we're going to fare okay. And I think Denver's still figuring themselves out. This is a good time to catch them, a division rival, at home on prime time. And I think this could be a statement game for the Raiders. And the next week in Kansas City might be a whole different story, but at least we can come out here and show we could beat the teams that we're supposed to beat. And that's got to be what happens week one.
Yeah, absolutely, dog. Absolutely.
So, man, we didn't run him through the 2-minute drill for obvious reasons. Don't expect him to know a lot about Raiders history. We covered Kane. We went through the game preview. We gave you guys our thoughts on the depth chart and why people are there and why people aren't there.
Yeah.
I think we've done our job for the night, Jay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think it's a good comeback show with all the issues that we had in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
This was a nice way to come back and re-inform the fan base as we get ready to go to the Coliseum.
So before we get to the shout-outs, because I know some of y'all probably tune out because you're like, the shout-outs is the end of the show. Hey, listen, I listen to other podcasts. When they start reading them ads at the end of the show, I'm out. So I'm not mad, but we still ask you, Che and I, and now Bobby, because I know Bobby does, stay to the end of the game. But I will say this right now, just so you guys aren't confused. We will not be on the air next Sunday night. We will be on the air live streaming from the tailgate Monday night. Look for us around 4 p.m. Again, set the notification reminder on YouTube so you don't miss it. We want to see you guys on there. And then we will be coming back in studio Tuesday night to do our game recap and our preview of the Week 2 matchup. So our studio show will be Tuesday night. We will be live on YouTube Tuesday night if you want to join us. I think our start time, though, is 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah.
Is that what we said?
I think so.
Yeah, 9 p.m. I think on Tuesday night. And, of course, dropping to all podcast outlets Wednesday morning. So that gives you a good half the week to catch up with us, hear our thoughts on the game, and, of course, look forward to Kansas City on Sunday. And that'll be another home game, which means no studio show Sunday. We'll be out at the tailgate, and that's where I'm going to leave you as far as our production schedule for now.
There you go.
I'm going to give it to you in bite-sized chunks. So let's do some shout-outs, man. We got to get caught up from last week, so we got a big chunk here. Shout-out to Real Alex 01, Nikki Trips, NFL Exporter, Mojo Raider, Roman George, Central Valley Raider, Holcomb 85, Rob Ramo. Shout out to Rob Ramo. Put out a Rob Ramo. Is that how you would say it?
Yeah.
Rob Ramo. Great show at the Crow's Nest Restaurant. That's right. We have our own restaurant. Just kidding. I got to go out there and check out the show with Bobby 2 weeks ago, or I should say last week, technically last weekend. Antonio the Lion, shout out to you. Shout out to New York Mojo, 9 Raiders, Derek Langer, Owl, Zombie Raider, RZ Sports, Mad Vic 999, The Green Lifestyle TV, William Adair, Weapon Mex, Rappin' Ron, Danny O'Connell, RSJ Zicky, Roster Raider 1, Mark Atchison, Picaro Syndicate, Buster's Place, Pablo Orneas, Shane 1, Raider 1, Derek Haney, Raiders 13 AZ, Dominus Malum, Papa Garrett, Mark Ralph Rowe, Will Kendall 55, Edge McMuffin Top, hell of a name right there, 7BS, Felix Knows NFL, Johnny Vaughn, D-Lo, Official Sports Polls, Alex Houston, John Russo, Christy Perry, Jag Cedar, Jeanette Joy, Stephen Wynn, Suddy, Floral Sand, Mark Jasper, Kaufman, Lincoln, hell of a name again, Mimbres, Raider, Adam Soul, EJ Raider, Raiders Ryan, Mark McAllister, Lavon 11, Dan Little, Ivan Duke, BW Black, Augie 6MNO, Jenna, Colin Brassfield, Steve the Guitarist, Enzo Viola, Marcos, VDR 5, Estru Agnes, I think that's right. Dark Pinoy Mike, Russ Giambroni, Raider Ray, Bilal, J Trey, Simonizer, The Book of Boom, Johnny Estra, Sector 5, Jared Jones, Bob Singh, Coach Greth, Michael T, Peter Bernal, Cowgirl Raider, Joshua G, The Chuck and Nux Podcast, Bryson Teixeira, Raider Vengeance, Ian Stewart, Soft Houston, Nico, Mr. Panhandle 850, Varlos Casquez, pretty sure it's Carlos Vasquez, Jason Taylor, G-Dad, B-Dad, BA Raiders Nation, Carlton Adams 88, Dennis R. Freitas, and Kevin Davis 315. Shout out to all of you guys.
Shout out.
Thanks for the follows, guys. Shout out. Much love.
We're going to let it stand with those, man. We ain't even go to IG shout-outs, man. That's a lot.
All right, shout-outs on YouTube. Shout out to Christian Serrano. Shout out to Full Metal Mexican. Shout out to It's Raider Irv, Dyko. Shout out to Cameron Park, Jeremiah Johnson, Mr. Bright, Scott S., and shout out to King Wonka. Yeah. And big shout-outs to everyone that donated recently, Daryl Padilla, Mark Soto, and Richard Lacase. And shout out to Bobby Wasabi for donating Tree every time he comes through. I'm flush on Tree. I got some Tree for you tonight, Bobby. Yeah. Man, it's been a hell of a show. Shout out to everybody in the YouTube chat.
Yeah, man.
Shout out
to everybody, man. You guys hung in there. You hung in there with us, man.
Yeah, you did.
Bobby's hanging in here. He knows our pain finally about this heat. Thought we were playing, man. He lost like 15 pounds since he got here.
We're gonna go cut some trees down and get some fresh air outside. That's it for this week's show. Tune in every week wherever podcasts are found. Call in and leave a message to be played on air at 408-909-PJFF. Make sure to download the official Pillaging app available for iOS and Android. Big shout out to DC4L Custom Tees. Make sure you get yourself a fresh Pillaging tee for this season.
That's right.
I'm going to order one tomorrow.
There you go.
Please donate to the show. You already know how to get there. It's the PayPal link. It's in our social media profiles. It's in this YouTube profile. Find it. Any amount helps. $1 per show. That's all we ask. And make sure you listen to our network partners, the Ladies of Darkness, the Put on Waivers podcast, East Coast Nation, the No Ledge podcast, also on hiatus right now, the Inebriation podcast, the Blackout podcast, and of course the Crow's Nest, recording directly after this. We got a sci-fi author on the air. We're going to be talking about a hidden cemetery buried underneath an apartment complex. Kind of like Poltergeist. We got a lot to talk about. Of course, Bobby's going to be in studio tonight. It's going to be a hell of a show. Until then, keep the wind in your sails and the rum in your mug. And Pillage on Raider Nation, this has been a production of the Crow's Nest Podcast Network. I'm Kenny Stapler, joined as always
by your boy Che.
And this week,
Bobby Wasabi.
That's it, boy. Come on.
Come on.
We out here. Peace.
Peace.
Go Raiders.
Just win, baby.